What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are we doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Casually Chelsea show. I'm accompanied by the starting panel of CP, Scott, the Bridge Nation, and myself, Marshall DBDX. Big up to every single one of you. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely evening or day, depending on where you're watching from or when you're watching this. If you haven't done so already, smash up the like button on your way in. Helps us out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. If you just found the channel, hey, we recap a lot of Chelsea stuff. We talk a lot of football. We recap a lot of news. And this show specifically does it in a 3-hour format. So we essentially talk a lot of football, and it's a great little live podcast for you guys to enjoy in the background. And yeah, chill out and just work or do whatever you want, and we'll kind of help you get by the day. So yeah, big up to every single one of you. Big up to everyone in the chat. Like I said, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, check out the links in the description. Helps us out tremendously with everyone else's content on here, and memberships. Big way to help out the channel. 4 different tiers starting at 99p with all different types of perks at every tier. So yeah, check that out. And so we're gonna add this segment until the tournament is over, which is gonna be a bit of a Club World Cup recap. I mean, I can't remember all the games that we've watched since the last time we did the show because there's been so many games right now. But I guess we'll kind of go over some of the games that we have watched and some of the favorites. But I will start off by saying this: if you are on the Discord or if you followed me on Twitter, I happened to this wasn't planned, but I happened to get the hookup for tickets to Dortmund and Fluminense, and I'll just say, man, seeing Thiago Silva in the flesh put on a clinic, oh my days. I've never seen Thiago Silva play, for those of you who don't know. For those of you guys who don't know, he is probably my favorite center back ever, really. Like, I'll be so real, from at least from the football I've watched. I've not seen, you got what, from since I started watching football seriously back in 2008 or 2009. In that lifespan, Thiago Silva has been one of my favorite center backs, if not my favorite center back of all time. And I didn't get to see him when Chelsea came to the States under Poch. I think he was still on international duty, or he wasn't allowed to play. Then what other time? I think those are the only 2 times, because then when they came to play in America and the States the other time after that, they were really far away. And yeah, didn't get a chance to see him play ever for Chelsea. But yesterday was a great opportunity. I was in that first tier of seats. The Brazilian contingency, the Brazilian fans in general, know how to bring an atmosphere. It wasn't a sold out stadium. Why? Because it's 12 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, so people are working. The scheduling for this tournament has been just shit, but that's a whole different discussion, right? But the Fluminense crowd knew how to bring the energy, and Thiago Silva, bro. The Thiago Silva put on a clinic, bro. CP, when you're there in person, you see how big these fucking players are. I saw Sule from a distance. I was like, who the fuck is that giant right back? And then I saw the back of his name. I was like, oh my god, that's Nicolas Sule. So I got to see Carney Chukwuemeka play in real life. I got to see Gittens. Gittens looked pretty good. Got to see Sabitzer, Thiago Silva, who Guirassy was much bigger than him, but had no issues whatsoever dealing with aerial long passes coming in towards him. It was just so cool to watch them play. Fluminense should have won that game, which is crazy. But yeah, Fluminense had him on the ropes the entire time, pretty much. No. Barring maybe the second half where Dortmund came out and had a few more opportunities. But I don't know if you guys got to watch the game. What did you guys think?
I think I did, and it was glorious to see Thiago Silva, I won't lie. And Marshall, you explaining about the crowd sizes because it was at 12 p.m. Mm-hmm. I think English fans will, especially Chelsea fans, will very much understand because I think the person on the top right made the same excuse about why he couldn't go to the protest because it was 6 p.m. at London. Right, so which is office hours, right? Like from office hours, you should have any excuse or say.
Yeah, man, that's office hours. 6 p.m. is office hours, but listen,
no. So that's what I'm saying. So 12
p.m. Summer holidays, baby. It's a summer holidays.
That's what
summer holidays.
That's what I'm saying.
Just on a side note, it's actually not office hours from a lot of jobs.
Yeah, it is 9 to. It is actually. It is, but listen. As I said before,
one of the reasons America's superior.
Summer holiday, mate. June, July, August. I thought that's when the lads are out. You know what I mean? Kids are out. Everything's out. June, July, August. So what's going on, Marshall?
What do you mean? No, school's not out yet. There's another week until school's out, but also you're talking about high schoolers like they have a job. They're in school, bro. They don't have money.
Tickets. Yeah, they're gonna afford.
Yeah, they're gonna buy the tickets, bro. What are you talking?
Yeah, man, get your money up, man. Isn't that what you told me? You told me to get my money up. Listen, guys, get your money up in it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you were 16 and 15, yeah, I'm gonna ask you to get your money.
Yeah, man. When I was 16, 15, man, I was working in paper chase, man. You know what I mean? I was working. I was grinding.
Marshall, you know what? You know what? Raise the prices up in England to £200 a fucking match. Let's fucking go for kids.
Yeah,
for kids minimum.
The commitment.
Let's go. Hold that.
Yeah. Then you're gonna have to get the side gig. You're gonna be selling chocolates and candy outside the bridge, bro.
Listen, I've already said this before, man. You know, Bridge Nation has
two for 5p.
Boycotting. Bridge Nation's boycotting, man. I told you this before.
Yeah, have fun with that. But no, Thiago Silva put on a clinic, man. After seeing that game yesterday, I was like, we really should have kept him one more season. We really should have. Oh my God. It could be delusion on my end, but like, I really felt like he did not struggle with Guirassy whatsoever. Like, and that's a European side. Like, I know it's Dortmund. I know they're not the best side, but like, still like European opposition. And to see Fluminense control the game the way they did was insane. It was immense. It was immense for sure. What other games did you guys watch that stood out to you?
I just watched. Speaking of Armour taking L's, I just watched Inter Miami just dominate Porto.
That is 2-1. I can't believe that's actually 2-1.
Bro, it should have been 4. I'm not even joking. I said this off like backstage, and I'll say it again. Anyone else but a 38-year-old Luis Suarez and like Miami win that comfortably. Porto had a 10-minute spell at the end of the first half where they were actually good. Like outside of that, they had a dodgy penalty which Samu nearly missed. He did nothing, by the way, the whole game. Absolutely stank. Like he was getting no service. Like a couple nice touches, but like not really anything. Had a chance at the end, smashed it into the crowd on a volley. That was pretty much the only chance he had the whole game. Outside the penalty. Porto did nothing. Like nothing. Miami were a much better team. The only thing they were like struggling with is in the first half they just kept passing it to Messi wherever he was, which was fucking them up. Yeah, like Miami actually might make it free, you know, like they just have to literally draw against
4 points right now.
They have to draw against Palmeiras and they're through.
Yeah, they're on 4 points right now. They're top of the group.
Them getting draws is kind of hard. But
actually, no, Palmeiras and them are
drawing. Palmeiras are top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they get a draw against Palmeiras, they're guaranteed to go through.
That's crazy, and that's very possible because, like, nothing, no disrespect against Palmeiras. They've been playing some pretty good football, and it's been pretty impressive to see. And they did stand toe to toe with Porto, but a lot of the from what I've seen so far, again, Esteval got another man of the match performance. CP, I think you watched that game in its full entirety, so you could talk more about that one.
Yeah, it was a slow start for him, but he was getting into gear, I think, after the 15 minutes in the first half. Great positioning, good dribbling. I think I'm forgetting the Palmeiras coach, the manager's name, but he's been doing this thing this year with Esteval, where he kind of has a free role like Cole Palmer does. So he'll start on the right, but then sometimes he'll just be on the left. So he'll be a right winger or a left winger, depending on. Obviously, he's not as effective on the left wing, but he still does a decent job at least taking on his man. It's just obviously he's going to favor his left foot a bit more, being on the left side. So in terms of shots, but it wasn't as good. I would agree. Me and Scott, we were talking backstage compared to his the first game, but you could still tell he was like the best player on the pitch. So he's, let's see how far they get. If they do well against Inter Miami, then I think they're going to be facing European sides. And in general, all the Brazilian sides have not lost to a single European team.
Yeah, they haven't lost at all.
So, good
it's
for them.
It's impressive to see that. I mean, in terms of other games, because I remember the last game we spoke about was Boca Benfica, because that was happening live. The Flamengo game against Tunis.
Speaking of that game, by the way, sorry to interrupt. Speaking of that game, I know it ended in a draw, but Boca Juniors again, like better team in that team. I think that was probably closer than in terms of but I don't think Benfica are as far off as like Porto were today against Miami. But Boca were a better team. Just couldn't keep it like wrapped up at the end.
Otamendi was by himself completely for that set piece.
Yeah,
and then there was a penalty, which is a cold penalty. In terms of other games, the Flamengo-Tunis game, I thought that was kind of a snooze fest. I mean, Flamengo were just controlling it.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
It wasn't super exhilarating. Then it was a Fluminense-Dortmund game. River Plate versus Urawa Reds. I didn't get to watch the River Plate game, so I mean, I don't know if Scott or CP, you guys watched that one.
I watched the highlights. From what I can remember, there's some good goals. I think the first goal was very good.
We're gonna talk about that kid, by the way, Montesano.
Macetuano.
Macetuano.
Macetuano, yeah. We'll talk about him. Segment on him in the game. Yep. Speaking of Real Madrid, actually,
damn, bro,
1-1 against Al Hilal.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's any Saudi team that you're gonna draw against, Al Hilal is probably the one. But still, I mean, worrying signs for Trent. Vinicius got carded for diving.
Did you see how petty Liverpool fans are being?
I bet they're petty as
shit. No. There's Liverpool fans on the Notes app marking down every minute that Trent has fucked up with a pass or a tackle or anything or a bad touch. Wow. Like the whole 90. There's I saw a TikTok of a guy having a whole breakdown of a 90-minute, minute by minute of where he fucked up, dude. It's so petty. I love it.
No, I love it too.
But Vinny,
by the way, this is sorry to interrupt. On the Al Hilal thing as well, like just with Real Madrid, how bad they were. This isn't even an Al Hilal like final form either. Like this isn't even their final
missing
form.
Players from injury.
Well, that and the fact of like with the signings they're looking to make, they could be even better. Like they had Renan Lodi at left back, that could easily be Teo Hernandez.
Also, Neymar left.
Yeah, Neymar left. Well, he didn't really play for them anyway, but Neymar left.
Inzaghi just getting into his
there. Their striker is second choice. That Marcus Leonardo kid is meant to be Mitrovic. I don't know where he is.
Oh wow.
But then they're also obviously looking at Osimhen.
True.
So like this, bro, they held their own against a very good Real Madrid team. But that Real Madrid team is still kind of a mess. I didn't watch that game, but everything I heard is a mess. The other game I want to shout out that I watched, at least the first half of, spoke about backstage, Pachuca Salzburg. Bro, Pachuca, another team. Like these South American teams and these North American teams are holding their own against these other teams. Like Pachuca, the better team against Salzburg, like much better team as well. The Salzburg keeper kept them in it, and then it's just a shame that like they get that goal in the first half, Salzburg, and then they didn't really look back for the rest of the first half, and then I couldn't watch the second half because of the delays and everything.
Yeah, I mean, probably the weakest team I've seen out of the North American teams has probably been LAFC. And even them, like, they weren't that bad. Seattle Sounders, they were really close against Botafogo. I think that second half, if it had gone down any longer, Botafogo walks out of there with 1 point instead of 3. Inter Miami, Al Ahly, and now Inter Miami winning this one. That Al Ahly game was entertaining. Al Ahly should have won, but Inter Miami held their own. They were coming back in the second half, and then it was a worldie of a save as well in that last minute. Who else was there in terms of a North American team? Yeah, Pachuca, Monterrey, Inter.
Yeah,
bro,
Monterrey.
I saw parts of that game. Holy shit, man. Sergio Ramos, man, I got to give him kudos. He still got it at this age. Inter missed opportunities. They just didn't look that up for it. It was back and forth. Like, I agree. People were sleeping on Monterrey, and they had opportunities as well. And listen, Jan Sommer almost got done on his near post again, but it's just quality. And the Monterrey attacker hit the side netting, and if it had gone in, Monterrey walk out of there with 3 points. Like, there's been some entertaining games to watch here. I mean, I wish I got to see the Pachuca game because I was convinced that was going to be a good game. Like, of their Salzburg and Pachuca are just about equal quality in terms of like where they are. They would have been a good matchup is essentially what I'm trying to get at. Anyone watch Man City and Wydad or Casablanca?
Nope. Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that one, unfortunately.
Parts of it. It was okay. It was just it was so weird because you had like Dogo on left wing and then you had Marmoush as a left mid.
Bro, I heard Tijani Reinders, he was playing as a single pivot pretty much, and he was essentially the man of the match, their best player.
It was so weird. I don't know. Pep's doing crazy shit again.
Pep is doing Pep shit. I heard Cherky wasn't that good, yeah. But I think it's a matter of just adapting.
I don't know. Maybe he's doing what Mourinho said a couple months ago when people were asking him, how do you do team selection? He's just like, I fucking throw names into the air and whichever ones land on
a bunch of
coins. I think that's how he's choosing positioning. I think that's how. Also, sorry, on a side note, did you hear that the entire Turkish FA left?
I heard.
Do you know why?
Rumblings.
Mourinho was right.
Mourinho called them out.
No, Mourinho was right. They got sacked because things got leaked that they're favoring Galatasaray. And they were trying to stop Mourinho.
Shit.
Legit.
Yo, Mourinho fucking right bringing down the Turkish league. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. But the Man City game I didn't get to watch. If Vader was here, he'd give us his analysis of it, of course. The Atletico Madrid Sounders game just started, and that's going to be one to watch if you guys are in the background. Obviously, definitely have that in the background while you're watching some Casually FC or listening to Casually FC. And then Juve Al Ain, just dominant performance from Juve, 5-0. Yeah, I didn't watch that one either. I didn't get to.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
Yeah, that was a late one.
And I definitely did not watch Ulsan versus Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, I don't blame a lot of people for not watching that one, to be honest. But hey, as long as they had fun on the pitch, right? Because their attendance was the worst attendance of the whole tournament. Just really, really poor planning from FIFA. I gotta give that one on FIFA. Just poor planning, poor marketing. It's just ticket prices or not even adjusting your ticket prices to try to get people to come out. Like that one stinks. So it's a shame to see, but hey, hopefully for the next game they have a little bit more support, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, obviously I'll try not to be too distracted with Club World Cup in the background. It's a fun tournament so far. I've been pretty entertained with all the matchups, barring like maybe 3 of them or something. But yeah, let's get into the show, ladies and gents. So big up to every single one of you. Let's get into the first segment that I have for you guys in terms of Chelsea stuff, and that's gonna be regarding this whole Mark Walters buys the Lakers thing. So it's a non-story, let's be honest, but I figured we'd address it here. This came out. Apparently, Chelsea co-owner Mark Walters buys Los Angeles Lakers for $10 billion, which is 7.45 billion pounds, in the world's most expensive sports takeover. So I believe he took a majority share of the Lakers, which is also part part co-owned by Bowley. Or is it Bowley or is it clear like that part co-own it?
No, it's Bowley. So he's actually majority stakeholder of the Dodgers. And that's how Bowley and him first met. And then they also bought minority shares in the Lakers. Okay. About 25%. And then with that, now he's buying the Lakers outright for $10 billion, which is $4 more billion than Ahmed's old team of the Celtics, which went for $6 billion. So fucking hold that, Ahmed. Fucking hold that. Yeah, you can hold that with him. With that Noni news too, I hope you talk about Marshall. Hold that all day.
Why would they care about what the Lakers are brought for?
Anyways, because we're the best, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, it doesn't have much to do with like I honestly, if Mark Walters bought us, that would be serious.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, because this is they don't care how much money they need to spend. They will fucking buy the top players, and they don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he got everyone. He's the majority shareholder who got Shohei Ohtani, who's literally getting every top prospect and using loopholes to get top prospects on cheap weighted prices as well. Like they got the best up and coming pitcher for this season for $25 million because he opted out of playing for.
He owns a baseball team too.
Who?
Mark Walter?
The Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm saying he's the majority shareholder of the Dodgers.
Oh, so it's Bowley and him, or
no? It's him. Bowley is a minority stakeholder in the Dodgers, just like he's a minority stakeholder in the Lakers. Walters is the money man.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Walters is the money man for the Dodgers. He's the main guy who makes the major decisions. Who, whenever they sign big players, is the one with the handshakes and everything. So yeah, he's exactly as TM is saying. He's the guy. He's the money man. Like if you're talking about this ambition that we talk about Bowley, if this guy took us over, we would every time. I'm not even joking. Osherman would be a forethought. We would be going for Rodrigo, and I would have so much confidence that we could get him.
Wow, I didn't know this. This is all new to me.
Yeah, no, he literally got Shohei, paid him a billion basically, got the best pitcher from Japan who's generational, who might be winning the best pitcher of the year this season in the MLB, paid him $300 million, and then got a loophole to get the next best pitcher in Japan that came this season for $25 million. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, if Blue Co had done something like this with the Los Angeles Lakers, maybe we'd be talking a little bit differently about this conversation. But I mean, he still has some ownership in Chelsea. Yeah, maybe if we win more trophies and stuff like that, maybe he'll consider buying us outright. Who knows? We'll see. But any other thoughts on Mark Walter before we move on?
Nope.
Sweet. Then we continue. The next thing I wanted to bring up was Strasbourg have a bit of a transfer strategy going into this window. Figured we'd discuss that briefly as well. So here we got, aside from these players who have already left Strasbourg after the 24-25 season, Andre Sancho, Georgi Petrovic, Sar, Jeremy Sebas, Jesse Domingue, Strasbourg leaders must find solutions for 10 to 15 more players before the 25-26 season commences.
I'm glad to see that we're doing.
Look at this list of players. Wow, there's a big list of players actually. I'm not gonna read all of them, but it's a good amount, and I don't think many of these guys are starters. I think there might be a few in here, maybe.
Diarra is a starter. Decore is a starter.
I'll leave that up for you. Sorry.
The goalkeeper, the second goalkeeper down, was made the starter when Sells was sold, but obviously lost his place. He was quite crap, so lost his place when Petrovic came in. I think that's it. Delane was a starter. He was their captain for a bit, but obviously he lost his place to Moreira.
And yeah, this bottom part here, other young players as well. Assume Dylan Bakwa, Due, and Nanasi are staying despite other links. But I mean, if a good offer comes in for either of those, I could see them going, because I know there's people linked to that are interested in Bakwa. And I think people are interested in Due. This is the same. This Due is related to Desiree. Yeah. His older brother. Okay, got it.
He's the same dude that. So those 3 players, by the way, Back was been linked with Frankfurt. And then Nassi might have been for Frankfurt as well, maybe somewhere else. And Doué's been linked with AC Milan.
Yep.
Oh wow. Yeah. So there might be money to be made there, but there is a lot of players that need to be moved out, which could be a good or bad thing. I don't know. It looks like a bad thing to me.
A lot of change again.
Yeah. But Blue Co's current focus at Strasbourg is offloading players who do not fit into the project, so expect more news on departures from now until mid-July. Scott, you got thoughts on this one?
Not really, because it doesn't concern Chelsea at this moment in time. Like I said, the kind of just the negative on this is just it's more change. Like, but I just expect it from these guys, like this ownership group at this point. Like, they don't really care about continuity and about keeping chemistry within the team. So yeah, just it is what it is.
Yeah.
To be fair, like what I will say, none of those players, like from what I understand, like Delane was pretty good. But like none of those guys on that list are like I said, there's like 2 starters. One of which is their captain, I think, or vice captain. So they probably should sort him out. But like there's not really too many guys on there who were key for them is the only thing. So like at least they're not getting rid of a bunch of stars. But yeah, it's just more like turnover again.
Yeah, it's a lot of players to offload, and I'm assuming those are a lot of players that were here when the takeover happened. They weren't necessarily players that were purchased.
Some of them were, yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they offload in the summer. It just seems like a lot of workload that's gonna be. It could be used as an excuse for Chelsea not offloading enough players, if you know what I'm trying to say. Maybe too much going on. Oh, we needed to. Oh, this is a goal. Alvarez, you're a criminal for missing that one. So
Can you stop glazing at the Club World Cup and let's talk about
No, sharp. No one asked you, bro.
I'm tired, man. I'm not the one to hear
Scott,
about.
you saw that,
You know
right?
what, Marshall? Can you do?
I'm watching it now.
Really
Bro, Alvarez, you're a
Watch,
criminal, bro. That should be
I'll
1-0.
pause a little bit.
Since we're on
just to-
fraudulent watch, can we move one segment, a segment that I would like that might be at the end up? A certain Yandu is also on the same page as me. Let's talk about your boy Noni, man. Can we talk about your boy Noni?
If he goes to Arsenal,
We'll do that. We'll do that.
If he wants to go to Arsenal, if he goes to Arsenal,
catch up to Scott.
Listen. If he goes to Arsenal, he goes to Arsenal. Why do you? Again, as I've said many times before, my stance is very strong.
We will discuss.
Badge over player. If he goes to Arsenal, he goes to Arsenal.
Don't get ahead of yourself. All right, we'll discuss. But all right. So next topic I wanted to bring up is guys. It's official. He is likely leaving our club now. And I know some of you will be sad.
Oh, 1-0.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't be sad at all. But it is what it is. So, what a goal,
Bro, this might end up being like 6.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold
maybe.
up. I'm missing this. Okay, hold on.
maybe.
Are you
Bro,
streaming?
bro. Yeah,
you just see
Atletico Madrid had about 3 chances in the space of like 2 minutes, bro. They're killing Seattle. Like this is no.
Yeah, you just see it.
No, who was that? Number 15, Bell, brother. You're getting cooked. That's a great goal, by the way. Oh, Reagan, what you do,
I'm
bro?
pausing a little more.
Where do I watch?
I think I'm like
I
almost
think
30
you-
seconds ahead. All right.
No, I think you were ahead of me. Well, you were ahead.
Yeah,
I think you're behind.
Yeah. I paused it. All right, cool. So yeah, that was a good goal from. It looked like Rodrigo De Paul, but it's not.
Llorente.
Yeah, that was a good goal. But okay, so yeah, Mudryk, he's banned. He's gone. He's done. It's official now. It's finally come out after we've waited so long to hear the results and all this and that.
Oh, we still do not know the results, by the way. That's actually context that still needs to be given. They
Really?
charged him, but we still do not know the results of the B sample.
If they've charged him, he's guilty. Like
Again, but again, I'm just trying to save us from any allegations and stuff like that. Right now, we still do not know what the results of the B sample are. I'm just trying to save us.
I'm gonna continue reading these tweets then real quick. So breaking news: Mudryk has been charged over doping offenses and faces up to 4-year ban, which is, Yeah. If you get 4 years, this would be technically 3 years for him, right? Or 3.5 years because he.
No, because the FA is separate. The FA ban is separate from the UEFA ban. Does that make sense?
It would be a 4-year ban from when it starts. Do you know what the funny thing is about that ban?
Wow.
The funny thing is after that ban, he would still have 4 years left on his Chelsea contract.
Oh my days.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't have 4 years left in Chelsea contract. We would signed him on an 8-year deal, bro. He's already been at the club for 2 years.
You sure about
Third season.
Yeah,
Yes, he was. No. Listen, this season was his third season at the club. Or two. It was like 2.5, or like it was 2.5.
So you'd have
right.
2.5 left.
Yeah, and now listen, there's obviously this is he signed like a 7 to 8 year deal, right? Was it 7 or 8?
Oh, you know, he'd have 2 years left.
Yeah.
But if this goes through, it's pretty much over for him. FA spokesperson, we can confirm that Mudryk has been charged with anti-doping rule violations, alleging the presence and/or use of prohibited substance in terms of the relegations 3 and 4 of the FA's anti-doping regulations. As this is an ongoing case, we are not in a position to comment any further at this time. Says we know that he's been banned for up to 4 years potentially, and then Mudryk hired Morgan Sports Law to work on his case, with Chelsea also providing support. Morgan Sports Law also represented Paul Pogba in his appeal against a 4-year doping ban, which the Court of Arbitration for Sports later reduced to 18 months, according to the Telegraph. But hey, we finally got movement on this case as well. I mean, do you guys think it's going to be reduced to 18 months? I mean, I don't know. We don't have much to go off of this, but
again, so the problem right now is that he's okay. The FA charges came in, I think, yesterday, right? Now,
yes, this was
we still don't know what's going to do with the case. They're not allowed. They don't need to tell us what's happening with the B sample. He may still be currently going through a court of arbitration right now with of sport with what's it called the court of arbitration sport with UEFA. I know that he's got the same lawyers as Pogba's lawyers in regards to his case, which got reduced to 1.5 years, which as well. So again, the FA case is probably going to be another one where he can appeal it. And I think if you appeal the FA case, it still goes to CAS, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So
yes, right.
He
can
still take it to the Court of Arbitration of Sport. Yeah.
Right. So essentially, he's now basically fighting 2 fights, right? So essentially, for me right now, I don't know how long he's going to have left in his contract. I think the next question you've got to ask yourself, from my Chelsea perspective, is that you still got to probably play Shakhtar. Is it Shakhtar, right? Shakhtar.
Yeah, Shakhtar.
Right. You're gonna probably still have to pay them whatever the remaining of the £62 million, right? However much that is, right? The add-ons luckily won't be included now, because I would assume his time at the club is over. This is me now making an assumption.
That should be 2.
Right.
Sorry,
so that means no add-ons now probably included in anything that he has right now. I think the second thing you have to ask yourself now, is 2 things. Yeah. With Pogba, because he technically got bought on a free, I think there was an easy way to basically come to a mutual contract termination, if that makes sense, because both sides were like, let's move on. It was in the spirit of respect, right? So that is maybe one aspect that you may be right. Now, the problem with the Mudryk one, I would assume, is that it's still got 6 to 5 years left right now, right? That's before we even get any results about how much his ban may be reduced by, or if his ban is stayed right at CAS. So then we need to the question would be, is the club willing to do a little bit of money to him, right, or stuff like that, and to cut it off, or is both sides going to be like, you know what, I'll cut off, you cut it off, no one has to pay, let's keep it pushing, you find yourself a new club. The B option that you want to hope is that maybe Chelsea, for example, have something in their contracts with the way these guys always act, that, they can get out of it. Now, I don't know about you. I've not heard anything about that. If any of that existed, I would feel the way this club loves to do everything, we would have heard by now that there's a clause in the contract to make that happen.
I don't know if we would have heard it by now. I mean, here's the thing. I think Chelsea and the media outlets and the journals know, but they're slow dripping this story. I think they're trying to milk it for as much as possible, and we're gonna be in the dark until they decide, hey, let's talk about it. So I do think, to an extent, there probably is some clause. There has to be some type of not breach of contract, but it's like it's almost like, for lack of a term, oh my god, oh my.
Did you just see it?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm ready.
Guys, no one wants to talk. No one cares about beating
Marco, can you stream this
Theo
on
Sanders.
Discord?
Can we get our life, please?
Yeah, I
What
got
is
you.
going
You want
on?
me to stream it on Discord? I'll put it on
No one
Discord
asked
right
you,
now.
brother. I need a Danny
my
Musovski
days.
goal, bro. Bro, it will feed families. Danny Musovski scores. I'm losing my head, bro.
We don't care.
The
We
moose
don't
lose, bro.
care. Who guys,
Here,
chat? On this question, chat, does anyone care about Atletico Madrid versus
Oh, go on,
Sanders?
Mudryk.
No one.
What minute are you on, Scott, by the way?
Fucking scrub. 17, 32, 3.
Oh, shit.
Hold on, Ahmed.
Oh, go on, Rother. Oh, you fucking scrub.
Okay, now I'm caught up. Okay, anyways. Let me... Okay.
See,
okay,
he cares.
sorry.
A commenter cares. Hold
Yeah,
that
but
on.
TM's a fraud, man. TM's a fraud. That's what he is, man. You know what I mean? TM's a follower. He's not a leader. TM's not.
There you go. Don't you like TKL? He's your favorite, right?
TM 127. It's not TKL.
No,
Thank
but
you,
TKL.
TKL.
said we
TKL's
don't
my
care.
guy, innit? See,
Yeah.
TKL, my guy, man.
I'll remember that next time you disagree with him.
Shout out to my boy Rico, by the way. That's
Yeah.
my guy, man. Keep gooning, Rico. Keep
fuck it, I'll
gooning. My
just-
guy.
Huh?
What do you mean? Wait, what? What?
Huh?
Listen,
This man.
listen. He's a known gooner. That's why I'm saying that, bro. No,
You're
but
ridiculous,
listen,
bro.
essentially, no, but like, actually going back to like, the Mudryk talk, yeah. The thing about avoiding contracts, there would have to be something in the contract to happen. A lot of these drug cases, yeah, that you hear about in sports, I don't know about the previous history of like when it comes to football wise.
But
You don't really hear about contracts getting voided, Marshall. You know what I mean?
No, but like,
Yeah,
but like,
That's-
isn't
that's-
that like a
I'll be real.
thing?
You
Like,
you do. Like, I'm trying to think now. All of
I was thinking about that
the
myself, even on my stream yesterday. I was thinking about that on my stream yesterday. Has there been any contracts in previous history of football where it's been voided, right?
but like,
yeah.
hold on.
there's
Okay,
so
go ahead. Yeah.
the 4 previous, and obviously these are varying levels of severity because of the drugs that were involved. The 4 ones I can remember, the 4 bans in football for this type of stuff was Pogba. That contract was terminated.
No, but that
Onana,
was mutual. But the thing is, just to give you preview on that one, that was a mutual termination, bro.
no, I agree, but that was also because he wasn't playing, because he was injured 24/7. Like, he was injured all the time. He wasn't playing. So that was easy to kind of cancel or terminate. You had the Onana one, which wasn't cancelled because that was when he was at Ajax. And then the other 2, but again, this was more severe in terms of the drugs, were Bosnich and Mutu. Their contracts were terminated instantly. I think they were both with us as well. I know Mutu
I
was.
also
I think
feel like
with us.
when you read into the fine details of a contract, that's like that's like a given, right? Like there's certain things that, you know, in order for you to fulfill your contract, you when healthy and able to, you must be available for X amount of games. You're gonna get paid this amount. Oh my god, so and so forth. Like, there's things like, obviously, don't do performance enhancing drugs because you're not allowed to do that under the sport. Like, that would be, I would assume, a breach of contract. So, like, although Ahmed is right to an extent, like maybe there's not many heard of, but that's because this doesn't happen often. And at the same time too, it's like, you don't have to write that into a contract. I think that's already embedded into a contract when you propose it. Like, there's certain rules.
The
and
thing-
stuff
the-
yeah.
The other one
I
I
get
can
what
remember. The other one I can remember where he wasn't. I don't think the contract was terminated, but I don't remember how long he was banned for. Was Rio Ferdinand? Is the other one?
Oh, Rio Ferdinand
This is-
had a
Yes, he does.
a
Yeah, he
little
Not bad.
failed a drug
Yeah,
test.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's the thing. Carlo Torre failed a drug test, by the way. People who
Oh, I didn't realize that one.
Yes, but that was
But
because
my thing is, Ahmed, my thing is with all of this is, I feel like there's enough with him failing that drug test, I feel like there's enough to terminate the contract. And I'll be honest, if I'm from a Chelsea perspective, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't try and get out of this contract. It's
the
a
problem
transfer,
with
like, it's just straight up failed. It's like you're not making your money back on him. So that for me, if you can get out of paying Shakhtar that money, because we're paying it in installments, that would be fantastic from the club point of view. Even let's say it's reduced. Let's say he gets the same as what Pogba gets. That means he's going to be back in the middle of next season. This is if he gets banned now, by the way. Let's say he's back in the middle of next season. He comes back in the middle of next season behind this winger we're trying to buy, Anquenda. Like he's never playing for this club again. So you're going to have to then try.
The question is,
what's the plan after he comes back in terms of trying to move?
So this is what I'm going to ask you
for a year and a half potentially. Trying to get rid of him is going to be damn near impossible. It benefits us in general to try and jettison him out as much as as early as possible.
Okay, Scott. So this is what I'm going to ask you, because I think what Kule is probably saying is probably what is probably the most logical cause I could think of, because I know this is in US sports, so I would assume it'd be very similar in the UK, right, where you have like conduct judgments of the team. The only way you can probably terminate his contract is if you believe he's been taking this A, knowingly, or B, he's been taking this knowing that he will get caught, right? I think that's just the logical way you can go about that. The club can probably just say, I don't even need to pay you anymore. You fucked us. You did this on purpose and stuff like that. Bang, right? Now the problem with this is gonna be if they basically find that it's actually been a contamination issue, it's not directly his fault, something has taken place which has led to him taking this without his knowledge, I don't think he can cancel that contract, Scott. Because the problem is, he did not take this knowingly, right? That's the whole thing. The whole debate is going to be, did you or did you not take this shit knowingly? That's why he's doing it to Cass as well. Because did you or did you not take this knowingly? So if he's found to not been taking this knowingly, it was a mistake done by maybe not himself, but maybe his trainer.
Is there a way they can prove that though?
They in boxing they do that quite often. Actually, I know Marshall kind of.
No, but I'm saying like it is genuine question. Is there a way they can actually prove?
So listen. Even though I don't,
go to a court case, isn't it?
You'll have to go to a court case. So I'll give you a good example, right? Let me give you a boxing example, right? Easy boxing example. Even though I don't like this guy and I still think he cheated, I don't care what anyone says. Conor Ben, right? So Conor Ben got found for doping, right? Right? And everything like that. But then his excuse was that the thing that he was taking was contaminated. I think his case was eggs. I think he was using eggs as an example of having like small amounts of the actual thing that he was found of, and that he was eating a lot of eggs essentially as part of his diet. So that's the thing. So I think there's other stuff obviously involved in terms of that, but they basically essentially proved he was not taking it actively, like via a pill or via something else essentially. Does that make sense, Scott?
That makes sense.
But he still had to pay the penalty fee, and he was still suspended. He was still gone for like a year, 2 years or something.
I understand that, but I think the point I'm trying to make, CP, is that at the end of the day, he was still able to prove, though, at the end of the day, that he did not take that drug knowingly. Take the drug knowingly, yes.
I understand. I think my thing is like whether there is something in the contract or not, and whether they will terminate or not. I think they should look to terminate his contract and get him out of the club because, like I said,
if you're going to terminate his contract,
now.
No. I'm sorry, Ahmed. I think I'm trying to like. I think they should see what they can do in terms of. What I missed.
Wait, Scott. The question I was going to ask you, and you can continue. If you're going to terminate,
that guy is a fraud. He is a fraud, bro. That's two now. That's two.
Guy,
two in this tournament.
But let me just say, I'm going to ask this question to my guy.
No.
Listen, I'm just going to say this real quickly. I think my issue, in my personal opinion, is that if you're going to terminate his contract now, you can't terminate it mutually, because unless Mudryk is coming to the table to you, and saying, I don't want to get anything, you don't want to get anything, let's terminate the contract. That's the nice mutual termination. We're probably going to get somewhat of a termination where he's going to be wanted to be paid out. That's what I'm saying. And the question you got to ask yourself is the club willing to then do the payout?
Well, I think it's again, I think it's like I think the club will try and find. We know what they're like. I think they what they should do and what they will try to do. Again, if you're looking I'm looking at this from a business perspective. It makes more sense to them to get rid of him like as soon as possible and find some way to get rid of him. Obviously, like if paying him out is the only option, then it's a different argument. But they've got to weigh up the cost of that, plus then the cost of like if you keep him and try to sell him, can you get rid of him or whatever? I think they should try if they can, and I think they can, or I think they'll find a way, I should say, get rid of him. Because like I said, trying to get rid of him after he's been out of the game for a year and a half, and that's if he gets banned, no, longer than that. After being out of the game by the time he comes back, it's going to be 2 years, I think, and that's if he's banned now. He won't be banned now because look at the way it's dragged on. So he's going to be out of the game from anywhere to 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm. The other thing
he already was starting at a fairly shit point. He's going to come back when he's probably like 26. Trying to get something back for him that's going to be like a decent amount, trying to do anything in terms of that when he's going to come back, be third choice immediately when he comes back. He's going to play no actual football in terms of matches for
the thing is, Scott, everything you're saying is correct, by the way. Scott, what Scott is saying is all correct. But the problem we're going to have, and I'm coming back to this again, this is why I'm saying we should probably wait to find out what the CAS result for the UEFA case is. Because if you see what the CAS result for the UEFA case is going to be, it's pretty much going to be very similar to whatever you're going to get for the UEFA case, in my personal, for the FA case, right? If that happens, I'm going to be very honest with you, mutual termination isn't going to happen. In my personal term, where both parties don't pay anything. I think the point Kule makes about the club being penny pinchers, listen, they started leaking the Sancho 5 million. I think it was in February or March. They started leaking that thing.
That was
right?
Early. Yeah, that was
right.
Early.
Again, with the Mudryk thing, if that was the case, that would have really been started to get leaked.
I will say this too.
Right, and you know this, Marshall.
This is a good point as well that I wanted to bring into it. Like, I think there's a bit of, I'm not saying like an excuse to take it, but like you can make an argument if you're his lawyers that because of this happened while he was in the Ukrainian camp, because of the you know the gray area of legality versus illegality in certain you know sports sports companies or whatever you want to call it, like federations. So there you go. This could be something where like there was a gray area of like, okay, but this was legal here and shit like that, that maybe he doesn't get the full 4-year ban, but they give him a partial ban. In that case too, then you start to have to weigh up the options of like, okay, do we find a way to terminate his contract? Is it worth keeping him if it's only this long of a ban? So on and so forth. I'm with Scott. I feel like if you are Clear Lake, I think you do try to find a way to get out of this contract, because now it's, even if he did play this season, if he didn't kick off this season, I think all of us would be in this panel saying like, all right, you have to sell him now. He's not kicked off for 3 seasons now.
Season. He is not going to play the entirety of this season. That's guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's absolutely guaranteed. So that means, like I said, he is, even let's forget the business side. Let's look at it from a footballing aspect. And everything I said before runs true in terms of he's going to come back. Like the guys we're looking at currently are all better than him. But I don't even rate some of them, but from a footballing standpoint,
and Nani's linked out too.
Potentially, yeah. But like, you look at the guys we're linked with. I don't rate Gittens. He's better than him. I don't like outside of Garnacho is the only one. Like Fofana, better than him. Kudu's better than him. Play different size. Neto, when he plays on the left, better than him. If you wanted to do that, Roger's better than him. Like, so he's going to come back. Wender's better than him. We've already bought. Like, he's going to come back into the team, and I don't really understand where the pathway back into this team is for him. Yeah. Like, I don't know where that pathway is.
We're not in Conference League anymore either.
It's not even that, bro. Like, he's going to come back, be third choice. So what? Like, you're going to believe in this kid so much.
Yeah.
When he's 26 at this, like I said, he's going to be 26. Again, depending on how long the ban is, I'm saying if he gets reduced to the 1.5 years that Pogba had, for all we know, it could only get reduced by like a year. Like, we don't know. We're just using the Pogba thing as a starting off point because it was a similar time and stuff.
Yeah.
But he could be coming back anywhere from like 26 to 27, which should be his prime, but it's not.
It won't be because of the lack of experience in playtime.
No, 100%. But yeah, so like he's going to come back, be third choice in that left wing spot. I already think the minutes are going to be fucked for him anyway, but he's going to need minutes.
Yeah.
To play himself back into a somewhat like usable player in terms of having regular games to actually like get back into playing football so he can get back to a point where he is a footballer.
I just think, I don't know, I just think, again, all of you are saying, I agree with, but again...
And also, sorry, Ahmed, the other thing I want to point out, let's say we decide to keep him. I'll say this again. Who the fuck are we selling him to? Who is buying him after this? Because guess what? Paul Pogba, yes, he's older, is a far better player than Mudryk is. He had one offer this summer. He's got one offer.
Monaco.
And it took a decent, like, he's been free to play since what, January?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's Paul Pogba, and that's a guy, yes, there's the injuries, yes, he's older, but that's a guy that has a proven track record of being, like, a top-level player. One offer.
As I said, man, it's been actually, as I said before, listen, all this is all well and good. The question is just going to be, listen, if Mudryk is able to get his finger reduced and get found to be not his fault, essentially, or like his negligence, essentially, then you got to find a way to pay him, or you got to find a way to convince him to not take any money to terminate that contract.
Oh, you fuck.
That's what this comes down to, bro. That's what it's going to come down to. It's as simple as that, really. And you better pray Mudryk doesn't like the London life, man.
Yeah, time will tell with this one, but it looks like we do have developments. I think more developments will be coming very soon on Mykhailo Mudryk. I will say right now, based on this game, whatever Schmetzer did, whatever tweak he made, dude, this game has turned around. Now Seattle Sounders are fucking creating the obvious chances that they're not missing it. Bro, please. Bring Schmetzer to the U.S. men's national team, please. That's all I ask for.
No. Keep watching.
Please, no.
As a Canadian, keep watching. As a Canadian, keep watching.
Curry, do not speak for the Americans, please.
Yeah, I said as a Canadian.
Every day, anti-Poch talk, man. Can you let Poch breathe, bro? Let my brother read. He just beat.
Let him get sacked. Please bring Schmetzer to freaking U.S. men's national team.
Listen, this MLS glazing session I'm getting from the Club World Cup. If these teams were genuinely serious, they would be putting belt to us. You know what I mean? It would be, real hoops. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
The fucking
Meanwhile, they have Atletico Madrid on the ropes right now. But okay, so let's go ahead and continue on to the next segment, which is hey, the Premier League schedule finally came out. So I wanted to see what you guys thought. We'll just go over this briefly. I don't know how much you guys want to go into detail.
I said, Ahmed, stay mad. Listen, I'm just gonna be honest. Listen, stay mad, man. MLS, man, is not it, bro. It's not it. It's trash.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Anyways, so we go into this CFC Daily telling us right here that Bayern Leverkusen on the 8th of August is going to be our preseason game, and then 2 days later another preseason game against Milan before we start the preseason. So we knew about the Milan thing in Ireland, didn't know about the Leverkusen thing. It's not even in Ireland. I'm sorry. It's going to both be in Stamford Bridge. Yeah, they're both at Stamford Bridge. So those are the updates. And this is the schedule pretty much. Our first 5 games: Crystal Palace at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Brentford away, Manchester United away. But yeah, this is the first time I'm looking at these fixtures. So we don't have as bad of a start to the season. Relatively decent start to the season. We should be doing well in the beginning. October, it does get a little tricky with Liverpool in that fixture. Forest, depending on what Forest we see, if it's anything like Forest of last season, could be a tricky fixture as well. November, we have the Spurs, you got Arsenal in there, Wolves, Burnley. December is loaded. Look at that December schedule. We got 6 games in December. Wow. And 2 of those games are Villa and Newcastle. City in January. Let me take this out of the way. Let me just look at this. We got Wolves, Leeds, Burnley, Villa, Newcastle. Oh, March is kind of tricky here. You got Villa, Newcastle again.
April too.
April looks tricky too. Look at that. You got City at home, United at home, and we end our last home game is against Spurs.
Our last 2 are good. It's only Tottenham and Sunderland. So. Oh
shit! I just saw that Atletico got a freaking penalty.
Yeah, he was holding his hand like fucking ring around the rosy. Anyways.
But yeah, what'd you guys think of the schedule, Ahmed? Since you're not watching Club World Cup, your thoughts?
Again, interesting start to the season. I think it's actually, it's an interesting start to the season. I don't know about you guys. I like that start to the season. I think it's going to be a good start for us. It's going to help the team. I think kickstart some level of chemistry, particularly with the competition we're going to be facing in his first 5 games. I don't know what the obsession is. In my personal opinion, with us always having to have like a really complicated end to the season. You know what I mean? It always feels like we've always got like a high
Forest,
difficulty.
Liverpool, Spurs, Sunderland.
Yeah, man. So
April even going into April into May is a tough one.
No, March. Look, March you got Villa, Newcastle, then Everton's your rest. Well, not even rest. It's
one thing
so
I have to say. One thing I do have to say. One thing I have to say. Like December, for some reason, as usual, we're getting the weaker teams, which I think might be. Listen, it might be both a positive and negative for us. Bar Newcastle and Villa, my personal.
No, because you look at February, we go. They're checking it. They're going Arsenal, then we go to Villa, then we go United, Newcastle United. Have a little bit of an easy fixture, maybe with Everton. Then you go to City, then United, then Man United. Maybe a little bit of a break with Brighton, but we don't have the best record against Brighton.
No, we've been good against Brighton. Been good against.
I mean, this last season we didn't do. We didn't do so good. Then Forest, depending on what Forest we get, could be a competitive one. I don't think that's a penalty. Then you got Liverpool. Yeah, we have a tough end to the season. God bless you. Holy mother of fuck.
But it looks like we might. I honestly, based on the team, I feel like we're going to have something very similar to this year. Basing it off the schedule, where we could be, let's say, up till second in early December. Because if you look at the hardest ones we got is United away in September, Liverpool 1 game in October, and then Arsenal in November. If we're just looking at a face value, right? So besides those 3 games, every other game I'm expecting to win. And so we could be second. Then after that, fucking March to May is gonna kick our ass. And if we don't handle December correctly into January, as we haven't done a lot, then
I do think this is a really interesting penalty. Also, oh my god, I think this is a really interesting schedule. There's no penalty on the game, by the way. It's still 1-0. Was it given a free kick outside the box? I can't put the audio on. I'm sorry, CP, just because.
No, you don't need to. Yeah. It's all good.
But yeah, Scott, what do you think of the schedule?
Not too bad.
A chance to see it.
Yeah, look. Yeah, not too bad.
I'm not too upset with the beginning of it. The end of it looks really rough.
The start's decent. I also like the fact that we come back from an international break, we go Burnley away. That's not too bad.
That's a good point.
And then Burnley at home after. Oh no, yeah, that's Burnley at home. Another international break. But I hate the fact that they do it left to right rather than down. But here we are. We've got Brentford away off.
Look at from February Arsenal onward. It's tough. The ending of the season is really rough.
You hope that you put yourself in a position where, maybe in January, never mind. In January, you get some good, new people come in, but they're not going to do that. October's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's all right. There's a few periods where we can build up. I do quite like the fact that there's a few games where we can potentially build up a run to then into a hard team.
I would hope that's
quite
December
good
for us. Yeah,
December
January period doesn't look nearly as bad as previous ones, but still.
No, it's just some of those are long. I can't lie. Going Newcastle away long, going Leeds away long. Yeah, it looks all right. I don't really see anything that bad about it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely mark your calendars, guys. If you haven't already done it, sync it up and do whatever. I think there's a way to actually sync up a calendar on your phone or on your smart device with the Chelsea fixtures, just so you know when every single one is. I might have to do that this season just so I can have a better sense of scheduling for the streams and all that stuff. But yeah, it's the schedule's finally out. Take a look at it, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. I think the end of the season is going to be a really rough ride, but like Scott said, we would hope that we kind of give ourselves a cushion so that we can afford to drop some points. Okay, so the next segment I wanted to bring up is getting a little bit of opinion from you guys and what you think on this one. So let me get rid of these real quick and let's talk on the one that got away, maybe. I need to hear other people's opinions on this because I haven't seen the kid play that much. But there's recently been a signing that Real Madrid made that we were actually linked to.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. And I think okay, here we go. So Chelsea followed Franco Mastantuono, but they saw him as similar profile to Cole Palmer. They also have Estevao, and they did not want to spend this type of money on a player of similar position. Mastantuono has a 41 million euro release clause. The future best number 10 in the world, apparently, is what is being touted. I'll go ahead and leave this here. I don't know much to think on this kid. I know he is a really good player for River Plate, and he did have an assist yesterday in yesterday's match. But what do you who's seen this player?
Nope. Argentinian
knows
league.
about this
I don't
player?
watch it that much.
Yeah, he went to Real Madrid, so Real Madrid picked him up. He's going to be a future Real Madrid player as well. I don't know much of the player, but I mean, Ahmed, do you know? Actually, no, you don't rate anything outside of Europe, so yeah. So
I can see how he could be similar to Cole. He plays on the right, and he's kind of like a right 10 kind of situation. So I can understand that point of view. If we have Cole already, and rumors about Estevao playing in the 10/right wing, so fair enough.
you guys,
like, I think that this club and this fan base and like these owners need to understand that like you can't get everyone.
yeah,
Like you can't catch them all. You can't.
Yeah, you can't sign every amazing young player. That's not possible. Because, like, for example, like if say he's a 10, right? Like I know he played for River Plate the other day. He played like on the wing, but you know he was like a traditional winger. But let's say he plays the 10. Is he going to play over Palmer? No. So you're bringing him in to be a bench option. Okay. What about if Esteval's the bench option for the number 10 going into the season? Which he could be. We don't know. So is he going to come in? So you already think highly of Esteval. So what, you're going to get him as well? Like this is
the pipeline.
This is what we're trying to do with like the winger
That's
thing
true.
and like the Brazilian thing of like we signed Esteval, cool. We tried to sign Endrick. We signed that Gabriel Met kid. Or I think we tried to. I don't actually know if that ever went through.
Yeah, we haven't gone through with
no,
that.
we haven't. We're probably still pursuing it, but we haven't.
You look at the goalkeepers. We signed Slonina, who was meant to be the next biggest thing in terms of goalkeeping. Real Madrid are interested. Cool. The year later, we buy Penders. You can only play one fucking goalkeeper. And now Penders is the next big thing. And it's like we've signed... we're looking at Gittens and Fofana and Quenda all kind of in and around the same age. Like, you can't get all of the players. It's not possible. You can only play at 11 and then have, like... What is it? The 9 subs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get every single one of these guys. You know, some of them are going to have to go elsewhere, and if he goes elsewhere and he smashes it, cool. You just got to make sure that the guys you get are good. This only looks bad if like Estevao ends up being shit, which I don't think he will be. But this only looks bad if the guys you get instead of him are shit.
No, yeah, I get that for sure. I think to an extent, like I definitely agreed. You can't get them all, but also if this is a similar profile to the attackers you're already getting, you have Kenda coming in, you have Paez, you have Estevao, Palmer's already there. I think it's good that these guys finally did show some restraint and finally said, like, you know what, let's just see what we got, what we're working on, what we're building, and if we do need to enforce them there, then we'll go back in the market and we'll get another youngster that will develop and whatever, or at least get the pipeline going before you start clogging it up with all these up and coming talents that once you realize, like, oh shit, we can't do, like, again, we look at the examples of Cassidy, you look at Angelo, Moreira. A lot of these guys didn't get a chance to really develop and didn't really get a chance to, move up the pipeline because of the poor planning. And so hopefully we have more success stories like Santos than not. And yeah, just slow down on the signings. When you start seeing that these guys are cooking, then get the younger ones to be, that'll take the mantle once these other ones phase out, or can develop under. So kind of like what we're doing with Santos. Like I said, if we have repeats of that, then I'm happy with that. But until then, like let's slow down and get more of those success stories rather than more of these what could have been stories. Okay, continuing on, we have a bit of news in regards to the transfer window, in regards to Chelsea in general. So I figured I'd get this in here, and let's talk about a few of the tweets I have right here. So this one kind of has me a little baffled. I'm not entirely sure what the hell is going on. I think I get the main idea of what is being said here, but Enzo Maresca is ready to defy the Club World Cup rulebook by rotating his lineup as he pleases in the United States after Chelsea won their opening group game versus Los Angeles FC. Not really sure what the reason is for this tweet. Like, it's kind of given that, yeah, you can change your lineup, so I don't know why it's worded this way, but I guess the gist of it is that expect a heavily rotated lineup against Flamengo when they play. So maybe we see Santos play. I guess maybe it's being treated a little bit more like a preseason than a completely serious competition until you get to the latter half of the tournament with the knockout stages and such. Well, time will tell, but I guess this is kind of the point of the story here. We continue on to the next tweet right here as I'm watching an opportunity. Seattle Sounders just waste away again. Chelsea are in the market for an all-around attacker with candidates including Kudus, Ekitike, and Joao Pedro, all of which we'll talk about today. Update: Chelsea are still looking for another versatile attacker and a wide player, but they do have time on their hands now. The market has been fully open since Monday, June 16th, and doesn't close until September 1st. And info: there are tons of activities taking place behind the scenes, but clubs get things settled sooner rather than later. Players also want to know their future sooner rather than later, but it doesn't always happen as quickly as they would hope. That's coming from David Ornstein. So, yeah, guys, looks like we're looking for attackers at the moment. No news of a new center back or a left back, even though, there have been links for Hato and links to, Gehi and even links to a goalkeeper, Le Mignon. So it seems that the big outlets are reporting we're really right now on the market for attackers, and you probably have your Gittens in there, the rumors of Nico Williams, so on and so forth. And apparently we're going to heavily rotate for the next game. I mean, thoughts? Is this the right mentality going into the remainder of Club World Cup and into next season, or the beginning of the reopening of the transfer window?
I mean, the transfer window's been open for almost a week now.
2 days, or no?
It's
been 3 days.
Been 3 days.
3 days.
Well, bro, we open on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 3 days.
So it's almost been a week. Today's the 4th day, bro. It's Thursday.
Can you count? Do you know how many days there are in a week?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So on day 4.
Can you count how many days there are in a week, brother?
There's 7 days in a week.
We're at the 4th day, so
we're
we're
already
just
past the
halfway,
halfway
yeah?
point.
So that's near the end of the week, is it?
This match
much.
makes it sound like we're
Friday,
beta
Saturday,
six
Sunday,
going
it's
into a
been
week.
Hang on, Ahmed. No, isn't your literal job, like, outside of like this, using maths?
That's the point I'm making. It's almost the end of the week. It is almost the end of the week.
Bro, I worry for you in your job if you
We're
can't be
halfway
simple
through.
maths.
Right now,
It's not
come on,
almost
it's
the end of
about
the
to
week.
be. Listen, in 10 minutes, it's about to be Friday for me. So technically, it's about almost the end of the week for me.
In 10 minutes, it's gonna. Okay, I guess so.
Yes. So what are we doing today? No.
Okay, anyway.
All right. I'm starting
Yes,
a poll.
Yes.
I'm starting a
It's
poll.
almost
Is
the
it
end of the
almost
week.
the
I
end
don't
of
care
the
what.
week, chat?
Yes, it is. Because
It is.
anyway, like
Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Anyways, man, to be honest, man, I know we're gonna talk about targets later. I don't really care about targets. I said this at this point. The way I just look at stuff now is just seeing do they fit the system and how likely are they gonna come in. That's the way I just look at stuff these days. In terms of like being able to sort players out, it's a necessity. You have to do it, bro, because otherwise, you're gonna start hurting your players, bro. There's some guys already fast team-wise already in the red physically, so you gotta make sure you can swap them as much as you can.
Scott, what are your thoughts, I guess, since Marshall's gone?
I'm just gonna wait and see what they do. I will say that the whole is so jokes. Like, this is that they keep wanting to do this. We're into year 3 or 4 of finding this profile of player that just doesn't really exist for good reason. But yeah, whatever they want to do, I guess we're gonna pay 84 million for a Swiss Army knife utility man. Fairs, I guess. Makes sense.
I can only think of one player that's a utility man that plays in a high level, and his name is Valverde.
Yeah, and even him, he's like third choice right back. He's what, third choice winger?
Yeah, third choice right
choice
wing,
sometimes.
and then like second or third choice midfielder, depending on.
Yeah, and he's like a
least
starter in
everybody.
midfield. At this point, he's a starter in midfield.
Yeah.
Great. But at least the thing with Valverde, which is like the thing that's annoying me to a point with this, with what we're doing, is at least with Valverde, like his starting position is striker. That's the position like nailed down. He's a striker. The guys we're looking at, no, like actually, there's 2 points to this. Number one, I've made this point in a couple of streams, so I maybe repeat myself to some people. I do apologize, but that list, by the way, for me, none of that list. Only one of those players on that list, by the way, that got you brought out, Marshall, that's been reported multiple times now, is actually versatile and actually fits that profile, and it's probably the player that people want the least in that list.
I don't want to take away TKO's point. You're going to be on TKO's point, by the way, Marshall.
You're saying Pedro?
Clearlake and HD's
really? I think
Ahmed.
Kudus can play cam. He does that for Ghana a bit, and right wing he's solid.
Yeah, so for me, this is my thing. For me, for someone to be an all-round attacker, versatile, like all of that stuff, for me, and again, this just comes down to interpretation, you have to play 3 positions to at least a good level. Only one of those players can do that. Like, Kudus is a right winger and a 10. Like, this thing I keep hearing, he can play false 9. But if we're playing him false 9...
not false 9. He's not great in the left, but...
He sucks. Like, he's straight up this shit.
He'll still be our best left winger, I won't lie.
Yeah, but that's because our only left winger currently is Tyreek George.
I agree.
Yeah, the thing is...
in terms of actual good level, Kudus is only right winger and 10. He's left wing, he's been shit this season, and I'm not hearing this false 9 thing that people want to do. If he's playing false 9 for us, that's fucked. Ekatike is only a striker, like, or maybe a second striker in like a 2, but we don't play with a second striker. He's never played as a cam, as far as I'm aware. He's played as a winger 4 times in his career. Like, I'm not about this trying to, what's it called? I'm not about this trying to just shoehorn players in and trying to turn them into, bro, no, not this turning players into something that, like, fuck off. We're not Brighton, man. Like, you can do that somewhere else. I'm trying to win shit. No, and I'm not paying. Sorry, Ahmed. I'm not paying 84 million to try and do that with a player. Pedro can at least play number 10, number 9, and left wing.
I don't know if you know this, by the way, Scott. I don't know if you know this.
That's the guy they're going for. That's the guy that fits.
By the way, in regards to Kudus, by the way, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently, you know the West Ham insider, to get his name on Twitter, said that he's available for 50 million pounds apparently right now. So the problem for me, I said this before, there's no point of me trying to scout. There's no point of me, trying to be logical with everything, because if we're bringing in Kudus and then you just swap him Madueke, I don't really see what, like, we still got Estevan in that position. Who's the other guy that we've got in that position? And there's another guy that Neto is in that position as well. So nothing's really necessarily changing. And again, my problem is
the output.
What's changing? I'll be honest. What
Kudus is better. No, we're not.
Kudus, you can say Kudus is not. Wait. Time out, CP. He's not even going to play right wing for us. That's the problem. Even if I was to say CP, you're right, which I agree with. What
are you saying?
Before we go into the Kudus talk,
if Madueke leaves and Kudus is a right winger, what's the difference? I'm saying the difference.
Yes, what's the difference is in terms of like yes. When I say what's the difference, I mean in terms of actual, like, you still got Neto there. You still got Esteban, right? So essentially, you still got 3 right wingers, right?
That's like saying I got. It's like saying, oh, we got Delap. So what does that mean? He's just a striker like Jackson. No, one's a better striker.
I'm talking about the number of wingers we've got in that position. We've already got 2 there.
But
so
that's
my
the
point,
same logic. I have a better right winger than I have with Noni now. I have actually upgraded in that position.
So let's real quick before we get deeper into this conversation on Kudus. I just want to read this on the Kudus situation right now. Chelsea are considering including Robert Sanchez in a bid to sign Mohamed Kudus. West Ham wants £70 million for the Ghanaian forward, and the Blues want to bring the price down, which I think that's reasonable to bring the price down. This is from 10th of June, and then we have this most recent one that Chelsea have held further talks with West Ham over Mohamed Kudus. West Ham wants straight cash. I believe. Is 70 million actually the release clause that he put in his contract?
No, it's 85. But it goes away.
More. Okay.
Yes, but the release clause apparently goes away July 10th.
Yeah.
So this is something
the newest rumor, at least even on PYS's stream right now, is the West Ham insiders are kind of waiting it out a bit because after that goes away, they're hoping for a bidding war. So it does get near that 85 million release clause that's going to go away July 10th, right? So that's where they're kind of waiting it out a bit. I don't think that even if we go for him, it's going to be done until July end because West Ham just want the money, right? They just want the highest bidder right now. So they're just waiting for a bidding war.
Which I think they could get. I do feel like I agree with Curry Pirate on this one that I feel like Kudus is an upgrade on, if you're not counting Palmer or I mean, I'm not going to put Esteban in that conversation, but if you're not including Palmer as a winger option, then he is an upgrade on almost all our wingers, I believe. Like, he is that goal-scoring profile that Maresca would require, especially after seeing that LAFC game. Like, I feel like he is that player that would give you goals from time to time. Is he as good of a dribbler as, like, Noni Madueke? I don't think so, but I do think there's a really good player in Kudus that unfortunately we missed out on. You know, that season we I don't know if we missed out on it, but I think we rehashed our focus to Palmer instead of, you know, trying to get both done.
Can you bring up Deminant's point? Because I actually think that's another point that should be brought up as well. We've got a lot of left footers now. Because even if I remove Madueke from the equation, you swap him for Kudus. Look at the amount, like you swap Madueke for obviously Kudus. You've got a lot of left footers now in the team, bro. It's like obviously, if we bring in maybe one of Gittens or Malik Fofana, whoever it may be, right? Look how many left footers you've got compared to right footers in the team. Because again, that's even for me. My point is also that there needs to somewhat be a balance, right? Kudus is not. I'm not saying Kudus is a bad player. I know Kudus is better than Madueke. I agree with that. But my question always becomes, if I'm gonna spend a lot of money on Kudus, right? I don't want him to be playing on the left wing, bro. With all due respect, right? I need him to be playing as a starting right winger, right? That's what I would probably say. I'm pretty sure you guys would agree too, right? If I'm paying almost 50, 60, 70 million on someone, you better be playing in the best position for me, not in your weakest.
I would say in terms of TKL, to address this point, we say that, right? And maybe statistically, it's not as good as Nani last season. But this is the same argument I always give to people who doubt Delap. It's, bro, if you put him around a better team with better quality, yeah, the output is going to go up.
So this season, Nani had 7 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League, right? Playing, 2,000 minutes. Okay. Mohamed Kudus was awful with about 2,600. He had 5 goals and 3 assists, right? The season before, when West Ham weren't literal dog shit, with 2,400 minutes, he had 8 goals and 9 assists. He almost gave me 20 GA in the Premier League. And I'm not even counting the 5 goals he scored in Europa, which is a better competition.
Yeah, and by the way, people, I was the one that said I wasn't
and
sure
that's West Ham.
I really
and
don't
once
know.
again, that's West Ham, not a side that literally gets 60% possession and was statistically second place at one point in their fucking league, compared to West Ham, which were 17th at one point in the Premier League.
Yeah, and since we're bringing up Nani into this conversation, I might as well bring this up as well. And this is the expedited segment that Curry Parrot asked for, and it's this. So exclusive from Matt Law of The Telegraph. Chelsea winger Noni Madueke is on the radar of a host of clubs this summer, including Arsenal. England International not considered untouchable at Stamford Bridge, and a host of Premier League clubs are in the market for wingers. So, I mean,
the way they're talking about Madueke right now is that I feel like they want to sell Madueke fast, before they go out for their winger. I don't know about you. That's what it sounds like to me. Because this is like they've been pushing it out now a few times. They've been pushed. I don't know if they can afford to do that, but the way they've been pushing the Madueke stuff the last few days, it feels like to me they want to push Madueke out first and actually get him sold, and then use that money afterwards. I don't know. At least that's what it seems like to me again. I don't know. Because this is not the first time. Like this came out yesterday. It's become like the last few weeks before as well, right? They've been really pushing that Madueke is selling angle quite a bit more.
But why? It doesn't make sense to me. Why would Arsenal want Noni?
I think he would be content being a backup to Saka.
I don't think Noni wants to be a backup for any team.
I think the question, then I don't know why they would.
And then what happens with Nwaneri? It just doesn't make sense.
I think Nwaneri will be I think Nwaneri will either start or be a backup to Odegaard.
I guess maybe.
That's the way it's looking like. But like again, this is why for me it seems like to me the way that the stuff is happening and the way that they're trying to. I really just feel like to me they're trying to find a market for Madueke first before stuff happens. In my personal opinion, that's what it looks like.
I feel like I understand the frustration with Noni right now, and it's very similar to the frustration people have with Jackson. And all it's going to take is a run a few games where he actually plays decently, wins more of his dribbling, attempts and all that stuff, and people will start changing their tune again. I think people have a recency bias right now, and rightfully so. I understand he's not had a good game in, I want to say, quite some time now, well over a month. But it's not like it wasn't too long ago where I want to say he had 2.5, maybe half of that third in a row, 2.5 games where he was brilliant in the left wing. But I think that surprise factor of like, oh, Noni on the left is now gone, and people have figured it out.
Can you bring up JC's comment? I'm talking about the news. I'm not saying about Maresca. I'm not saying Maresca trying to push him out. I'm talking about the way that the report that's been happening recently. Madueke is not.
There's been a lot of reports.
There was literally yesterday. Jacob Steinberg also reported yesterday as well. Noni, is not untouchable. If the right offer comes in, he's available. 3 weeks before that, they've been saying the same thing. It even came out with Athletic. Noni is not necessarily untouchable. If the right offer comes in, we'll sell him. I said this before. They're even doing this with Caliber, where they're doing the reverse psychology thing now. Remember, he's not. Listen, we want to keep him, but if the right offer comes in, you know what I mean. That they're trying to do one foot in and one foot out at the same time, basically. So, and again, this for me, I don't know what's going on, obviously, in terms of incomings yet. Incomings has been really silent post, obviously, the first window opening. We've not really heard yet anything yet. So, I think for me, we have to find out what's going to happen right now, right? I don't know. I have a sneaky suspicion. A lot of the guys they're targeting, their values are quite high, if you're being fair to them, right? Whether it be Gittens. I think Gittens' value is almost 60 million euros, something like that.
No, what they want for him is 55 to 60 million euros.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's somewhere around that, right? Then you're trying to get signed. 42 million allegedly for Malik Fofana, which isn't too much actually, if we're being honest, right? In terms of like price range, even though like maybe some people may say it's not good enough. The other thing that I would who's also be targeted like Ekitike, 84 million right now.
Yeah, right? Ekitike 84, Joao Pedro's 50.
What's his name? Morgan Rogers.
Morgan Rogers is only 80, or like it's between 70 and 80, I think.
That's what I'm saying, right? And that's not even including a possible centre back if you want Margehi, if you want a Joao Branthwaite. Hato might be worth in the 40 million to 50 million range as well, right? So you see what I mean? A lot of these guys now, unless they've got the cash flow and they're ready to prepare to spend, they cost a lot of money. So maybe there's
my thing with this Ahmed is two things. Number one is I think pushing Noni out, or not even if pushing, selling Noni with our current winger situation is dumb because we literally have 4 wingers, one of which is currently playing for Palmeiras. The other wing, like our 4 wingers are Neto, George, Noni, and Esteban. Say again.
Witzel just scored.
Jeez.
Just scored. Okay.
Oh yeah, just came off in a minute. Yeah, so like they don't really have the ability to sell one of these guys. Like they need to bring someone in first. If they bring Gittens in first, then we can have the conversation. The other thing is, as Dark mentions, is like we're 300 in the green. Like we, in terms of PSR, we're £300 in the green, so we're fine in terms of for the league. This is talking about. So like they're going to make sales, or at least I assume they're going to make other sales. They can afford to spend this money. I don't want them spending this money, by the way, at least not on Gittens. They should not be spending 55 to 60 million on him. Ekitike, they shouldn't be spending 84 million or whatever it is that's not on him. Fofana, though, for 42, calm. If you can get that down a little bit, cool, because Leon are financially in the bin. The Rodgers thing, go and do that. If you have to offer Jackson or another player the other way, cool. See you later. Go and get Rodgers expeditiously. Go and get the Kudus thing again. See if you can get that price down. See if you can offer someone else in that to get that down. But try and get that done, because bro, like we need people in on the winger spot, because at the moment it's looking bleak. Like you watched the game the other day, Noni stank. Neto, like I know he got the goal, stank in the first half, got better in the second half, but for me it's still not good enough. Like of what I expect from these players. So I just expect better. I want better. That's why I've said for me, like, I'd go and get Rodgers and Kudus. Both of those guys for me, you bring both of them in. You have the backup on the left-hand side is Neto. I'm calm with that. The backup on the right-hand side can be Esteval, or it's if he's the backup 10, whatever it is. Yeah, and then you've got two new starting wingers.
Quickly, bro. Let me ask you a question. You can continue on as well, yeah? My question is, though, I feel like, this winger movement would have been happening a lot faster if they had the cash flow ready. Does that make sense? Like I feel like they would have started moving a bit faster. I feel like remember Gittens apparently.
No, but this is them, bro. Like this is what they do.
No. I know this is them, but like, the point even I'm trying to make is that obviously the Gittens thing before the Club World Cup transfer window ended, yeah, the last hour or two, they came up. They said the package is okay. No, sorry, the price is okay. We just need to work out how we're gonna start. The agreement in terms of what's going to be actual money we pay, what's going to be add-ons. Does that make sense? Like I feel like we could pass on that, and I would have thought by now we would have come to some level of understanding by now. No,
not necessarily, because the thing is, I don't think they're doing like I think the deals they want to do they can't do. I think the whole Gittens thing and the Ekitike thing I think is still on the cards. Because my thing with the Gittens thing is I think they want to do it. It's them, bro. They take their time with everything. Like look at how they just handled all of the transfer they've done ever, basically. That doesn't involve Jorge Mendes or someone like handling it for them. It's just slow, and I'm not surprised. And I think this Gittens thing, the reason I don't think that there's any worry of money is because look at what they've done with the Gittens thing. Like these guys said, like Dortmund said at the beginning, I want, what did they say? I think it was 50 to 60 million, something like that. Bro, we've got up to 55 million euros. Was it 2-1? Oh, who scored? Rusnak. Fuck yes.
Seattle Sounders just scored.
Fuck yes. It wasn't Musovski, but we'll take the Rusnak goal. What was I saying?
Because you know what it is, actually. Because the slowness, my issue with the slowness argument is that, guys, yeah, tomorrow obviously is the game. We're going to be playing tomorrow, guys. Fun fact for those who don't know.
I'll be there.
Right? Yeah. Then we've got one more game. What's the next game? Is it Monday or Tuesday after this one?
That's a good question.
Tuesday, right?
It's 2 a.m. you guys.
It doesn't matter. Tuesday, 2 a.m. whatever it is, right? But the problem I have is then after that, you're into the knockout stages, correct? Because you're only playing them once.
Yeah.
Right? So you're now already into the knockout stages. And there's still no signings. Well,
yeah, no, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do transfers for the knockouts anyway. Because look at the guys we're looking at. Like this Ekitike thing will not be done quickly because they're pussyfooting around with it. Because Frankfurt are saying we want 84, and they're going, we'll pay you 60. They're going, we want 84, and we're going, we'll pay you 60. And that's literally how it's been since we've been interested. Who else? The Maignan thing for me is dead in the water until proven otherwise. Is completely
and Gittens can't join us. Anyways, he's playing for Dortmund.
Gittens can't join us. So there's no incentive to get him in now because, like, you sign him now, he can't train until Dortmund are knocked out, which, to be fair, with the way they're currently playing, they might only get to the group stage. But he can't train with us. He can't play. He can't do anything. So they have no incentive to get this done as quickly as possible. And at the end of the day, like, just going back to what I was going to say with the money thing, the reason why I don't think that the money thing is a problem is I can guarantee that they're probably just going to pay the 60 million for Gittens. What they wanted anyway. That's the maximum of what they wanted. So I think they'll just end up paying that. So that's like, for me, it's not, I don't think money's an issue. Like, also with the Ekitike thing, if money was an issue, you wouldn't be willing to pay 60 million. You'd be trying to sell players first, but we're not. we're willing to pay 60 million. We just don't want to pay the 84. So for me, money isn't an issue. They're just trying to do what they always do and do their usual bullshit. And we're going to be sat here waiting for transfers like we always are, with our thumb up our ass, waiting for these sporting directors to do something.
And it's so frustrating too, because like we've been told multiple times, we're trying to get business done quick. We're trying to get business done quick.
Yeah, they're full of shit.
Bro, like owners, hey, Igbali, Tadboli, are you watching what's happening? They're not getting business done quick. They're taking their sweet ass time, and we're losing out on
Also,
deals.
I think the other thing as well with some of these deals, like you look at the Kudus, I'm more thinking like the Kudus, the Rodgers, and the Fofana thing, is I think especially for Rodgers and Fofana, we're dealing with two clubs who are broke as shit or like who need money. So I think those are two you can wait on in terms of like there may become an opportunity with both of those. Like Fofana may become available for like 30 million later on in the window. And that's 12 million you've saved because Leon may need to buy someone or they have bought someone and they need to sell, like they need to recoup some money. And he's one of the big assets they've got. Same with Villa. They may need to, maybe they can't sell anyone else. They've tried. So they need to sell a big player. The Watkins hasn't managed to leave. They haven't managed to sell Martinez because he's not still left yet, despite the fact I thought he'd be gone instantly. So they're in a position where they need to sell Rodgers, and okay, you can all of a sudden get him for like 50 million maybe, because they're just trying to get rid of him and they need money quickly. So you end up getting him for like 10, 15 million less than you would have had to pay. So I think some of them are like that. Like I said, I just think at the moment the only one we're going to see anytime soon is the Gittens thing. There are a couple I could maybe see them doing, and they might be doing slightly behind the scenes, but those are deals I do not want us to do, and I'm not going to speak them into existence. So yeah, like also Dark, I'll be real. None of the players outside of Kudus and Ekatike, none of the players we've spoken about are linked with anyone else. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. It's probably a good thing with these owners because of how like how much they take the piss, but Ekatike obviously has got links with Liverpool, but Liverpool are trying to buy like 15 players at the moment.
Well.
Joao Pedro, by the way, is another that we're linked to.
Joao Pedro is linked with Newcastle.
He's pretty much going Newcastle.
But I also think the Joao Pedro thing, he's bottom of the list. So I think if we miss out on him, they're not as bothered.
Well, before we get into any more depth in this, let's start off with Gittens. I do have some news on Gittens, so let's bring this up so that we can, maybe discuss with more information here or clear up some information. So Chelsea absolutely want to go for Gittens and want to attack the situation again. Gittens has told Dortmund once again he wants Chelsea. This was the 16th of June, which was reported by Fabrizio. It is understood the package of around £47 million will stand a chance of success for Jamie Gittens. Although structure will be important. Talks continue over a new bid. Chelsea discussed Nico Williams, but have ruled him out due to overall cost of the deal, according to Ben Jacobs. According to Sky Germany, it remains unclear whether an agreement between Dortmund and Chelsea can be reached for Jamie Gittens, as they are demanding €65 million, £55.6 million, including bonuses for him. And then lastly here, Jamie Bino Gittens not opening doors to other clubs as he maintains agreement on several year deal with Chelsea. Discussions ongoing club to club. Now, I did see Jamie Gittens play, although very few minutes against Fluminense. And listen, I think there is a good player there. Is he worth the amount that Dortmund are asking for? I don't think so. And I think, we should be negotiating that if we haven't already done so. I mean, it looks like we're inclined to pay the £55 million, which I think that's overpaying, if you ask me.
But we cut ourselves, Marshall, though. We cut ourselves because...
£55
by the way,
million right here.
Somewhere there is not misreporting, but there is contrasting reports. There are things that don't add up with what's been reported, because everything that's been reported about Gittens from the beginning is that they want anywhere between I think 45 or 50 and 60 million euros.
Yeah,
which 55 million euros is about 40. Its nearest makes no difference, £47 million. So this Simon Phillips thing is interesting. Also, the Ben Jacobs thing that you brought up a moment ago. There was two scenarios with this that I thought of. One is he's talking out of his arse, or the other thing is like, but I think part of me thinks he's talking out of his arse because, as I said, £47 million. It's 55 million euros, which is what we offered, which got turned down instantly. So either he's talking out of his ass, or the structure we offered was so comically bad that they said, fuck you.
Yeah.
So
It's
but yeah, bro. This whole Gittens thing's a mess, bro. They cut themselves with the Manyan thing. Like, how can you walk away from Manyan and say he's only valued at this? But you're shaking your ass for Gittens and willing to pay like 20 million more than whatever was offered originally. Like, it's just, bro, it's a joke, bro. Like, it's an absolute joke the way that these sporting directors and these owners are running this club.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's getting this. Like I said, this window was the one that was going to reveal a lot of stuff, and I tend to agree. Like, the way you let the Magnan deal go, and now you're willing to, you know, almost give in to the demands of Dortmund for this player who, again, this is a deal that should have been done. This is like when January hit, Delap and Gittens should have already been through the door, but they've been fucking around since January doing I don't know what. I guess maybe focused on the Delap deal, but even that wasn't done immediately after the you know, the small Club World Cup window opened up. And here we are again. It's just, oh my days.
Bro,
here we are again.
Fucking do something.
Yeah, and it's again,
anyway.
like, I'm not gonna sit here and agree with you on this one just because the window's not done yet. Once the window is done, we can have this debate about is this the worst window. There's only been a signing done so far, and other pre-signings.
I'll be honest. Last window is up there as well. Last window is just
last window is up there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say, yeah.
Last summer window.
There's no point of us looking. You know, the one thing I always say about this stuff is that there's no point of me looking at Chelsea negotiations. All I care about is what's going to happen at the end, really. Is he signed or not?
That's what I mean. Like, I am so sick and tired of these.
I've come to that. That's why I'm not even talking about.
Done.
That's it. I don't even care about negotiations anymore. I'm just here to know, is it done or not? That's what I'm looking for, man. Well, that's why. You know what? You know what? I've actually, like, I don't know about you, Marshall, but I've come to the realization. I actually don't even look at Fabrizio anymore. Jacobs, man. I generally now just follow one account, The Athletic. I just wait to see and David Ornstein basically, and the Simon Johnson guy, that's the Chelsea guy, for Athletic. That's it. Because when it's done, they'll just tell me straight away. That's it.
That's nice. I don't have that luxury because I run a channel that goes around.
I don't have that luxury either. I've got a channel too, but because I have to sadly follow like also Pies on my YouTube stream. But essentially, you know, there's no if you're an actual Chelsea fan, there's no point other than following those three guys. That's it. The Athletic, the Simon Johnson, the Chelsea main reporter for the Athletic, and David Ornstein, because all these other guys are just talking about dilly-dallying, linked, advancing, negotiating. There's no point. All you need right now is just the finishing line. Because at this point, bro, it gets tiring. I know all of us here are tired, bro. Every week I'm hearing the same shit about we're still negotiating, we're still doing this. I don't.
Bless you. I think that was a sneeze.
No, it wasn't a sneeze, bro. That was a.
My god! Oh my god!
That was one of these.
That was so close.
Yo, Alvarez caught that so nice. God damn.
That would have been a worldie of a volley. Holy shit. I just saw that.
Yeah, man, but like, listen, I just think for me, I just want to know when the story's over, man.
Yeah, and I mean, on that same note too, this is one of those, like, I hate that this is even being released and teased, because knowing these owners, if they fuck up this negotiation, I might actually get upset. Because like I said earlier, guys, in a previous stream, and even on Discord, if you're on the Discord, go ahead and follow Discord. Also, I'll say this as well. If you are watching on YouTube right now, if you're on the live, smash the like button, because there's over 100 of you and there's only 34 likes. We should be at 50 likes at least. And plus, on top of that, we're trying our best to stay focused on the show while there's a good Club World Cup match happening in the background. So smash the like button if you haven't done so already, guys, because it helps us out tremendously with the channel, and it helps us out with growth in the YouTube algorithm. So go ahead and smash that like. But what I was going to say is, you guys know my take on the whole signing thing. Like, I don't care about the targets anymore. I just care about getting the negotiations done. But there are a few targets I care about. For example, I don't want Garnacho. Don't give me Garnacho. And the second target I care about is don't fucking tease me with Malik Fofana because I actually want this player. And let's get into it. Apparently, Chelsea are inquiring about Malik Fofana, and I'm fucking nervous and I have anxiety, worried that they might actually not get this done. So let's look into it. Chelsea make a verbal inquiry for Lyon regarding Malik Fofana, 20-year-old Olympic Lyon winger, among multiple options CFC considering amid Jadon Sancho exit. Nothing advanced for Belgium International, but discussions continue, according to Athletic and L'Equipe. Chelsea officials have called for Malik Fofana. Lyon value him at £42 million. And then we have here from Fabrizio as well. Chelsea consider Jamie Bino Gittens as a priority target as a winger with talks to follow with Dortmund. Agreement still sealed with players' side. The club made an inquiry for Malik Fofana in direct with Olympique Lyon as Hugo Guillen reported. No proposal at this stage. Listen, motherfuckers. Listen here. Leave the Gittens deal right now and just buy this player. If you were willing to spend £55 million on Gittens, just go and drop the 42 millions on this player or get it down to 40. I don't care. Just get Malik Fofana through the door.
Oh, fuck off, Gallagher's coming on. What way to ruin the game.
Gonna Gallagher.
Yeah. I like this player, ladies and gents. I think he's a very, very good winger. Really good up-and-coming winger. And I do think that he is also going to be a profile of winger that does suit Maresca's system, which is what we need to bring in. He's a good player, and it's a damn shame that it's being brought off as we're being negotiating and all that stuff, when the reality is I don't know if this even gets done. And that's what makes me nervous. So, yeah.
Scott, you seen this woke nonsense.
Listen, let's just keep it real. Marshall.
We got two people with man buns, man.
You're basically just getting you're just getting teased again.
One of them pulls it off.
Oh, you got raid.
Yeah,
Big up Hussam. Big up Hussam for the raid. Thank you so much. Big up. Welcome everyone from Don Hussam's raid. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Chelsea transfer windows. Welcome to Casually FC. Smash up the like button on your way in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be more, you can enjoy the live streams in the panel here. We are slightly distracted by Club World Cup, barring Ahmed because he's too good. He's a European elitist. But other than that, yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in. Don Hussam, thank you so much for the raid. Enjoy the content, guys. I think who was just talking about Malik Fofana? Was it Scott or was it?
It was not me.
No, so like as I was saying, bro, I don't really care about this news. Just pointless news in my personal opinion. Have we signed him yet? No, so there's no point in me.
That's where I'm at with it. I'll be honest with you. I am really getting tired of all this. Oh, we're interested in this. We're interested in that. We're interested in this. I don't care what we're interested in. As I said before, what I want to hear is Leon. What I want to hear is Leon have agreed personal or whatever terms with Chelsea. Now on players' side, I want to hear negotiations.
You're the one thing I respect about City. Yeah, we only hear we may hear every now and then about them doing their negotiations, but realistically, here we go. Linked. It's literally linked, and here we go. Usually, we don't even hear about it.
Then the jerky thing took like a week.
It took like a week, but obviously that was like you know, one.
No, but that's even that though, bro. Like, bro, I'd kill for us to be done something in a week.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. It just for me, I'm just tired, bro. I don't give a shit if you inquire about someone. Can I hear you're close to signing him or to signed? That's what I want to hear.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. This club has an inability to do anything in silence unless it's Jorge Mendes.
Yeah,
bro. This club has an inability to like get shit done in silence.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
Everything's so fucking public.
This is a player that I do want at Chelsea, and the fact that we're inquiring about it and we're doing this kind of gives me the anxiety that it's probably not going to get done. So yeah, it's frustrating.
I'll be honest, I kind of don't care about Fofana, not because I think he's a bad player. I just like I'll be so honest. I'm done with it. I'm so over this transfer window already. I just don't care. Like there's these targets don't excite me. Like the only one I got excited about, we pulled out of because we valued him at £12 fucking million. Cool. None of these other guys excite. Oh, no, sorry. The only other guy I'm interested in, they're not moving for, which is Rodgers. Like Kudus, I like, but Rodgers is the guy I would get above all other players. They're not going to get him. The way we're moving is absolutely embarrassing, and it's going to like continue to happen. In terms of like, this is what the fourth window or something. These guys, fifth window, whatever it is, these guys are doing this bullshit. I just don't care. Like, I'm done with the transfer window in terms of from Chelsea perspective. I'm more interested in seeing who other teams are buying. Like, I genuinely, like, I get more enjoyment in terms of this transfer window looking at who other teams are buying and like not getting excited for them, but like thinking about how they can like work in their teams and stuff. Like, I legit don't give a shit about Chelsea when it comes to transfer.
I'm more interested genuinely in the transfer window than Chelsea.
Yeah, or the players that we have coming in terms of like Andre Santos, seeing him play for Chelsea after his development. Hopefully Esteval at least for the Milan and Leverkusen games. Like, that's where I'll be honest. The ones that we've already had in our system that haven't played for our team in a sense, those are the people I'm more excited about. This window, I don't give a fuck. I'll be after. I told you after Maignan, after what they did with Maignan, I'm like, fuck. Yeah. This club is not serious. This club is not serious.
No, it's not.
Outside of Garnacho, these aren't low quality players. I think a lot of our frustration comes from the fact that we just don't get these players done. They're not low quality players. I'm not going to say.
No, I think they're no. I don't think low quality. I think low quality is the wrong thing, but I kind of get what Kai's saying in terms of like these guys might be better than what we've got. Like, I think Fofana probably is better than what we've got.
Movers is what you're saying.
Kind of, yeah, and just like they don't jump off the page and wow me, right?
Let's accelerate now.
We got linked with Maignan. Cool. That's a signing that jumps off the page and wows me. You know?
Can I give a hot take? Can I give a hot take? Sorry. I actually don't think I don't think the vast majority of players are bad players in my personal opinion. It's not even that I don't even rate them or not. I'm just tired of the way we just move in these windows, bro. That's all it just comes down to.
I agree with that.
That's the way it is, bro. Because again, I know the pool of the market pool is now a lot about inexperience because there's not that many experience out there as it is, right? So it's about finding the right talent, you know what I mean, that you think you can obviously evolve. But my problem is just becoming we dilly-dally so long, yeah. We keep on bringing interested, attracted, initial talks. That's all we hear about us, but we can't. I don't genuinely just hear Chelsea negotiating. Here we go. And then I look at the Chelsea website in a week and they're already there.
Yeah,
that's what irritates me.
The other thing as well, just if we're seeing on the Fofana thing and it's pertinent to this. The other thing as well, and I'll keep banging on about this. And if you're sick of hearing me say this, I really don't give a shit. Tell the club to do something different. Is the way we fucking plan this squad. Even if I think Fofana's a good player, how the fuck are you interested in another 18-year-old left winger when you've got another 18-year-old left winger coming in the summer? Make that make sense to me, please. How have you bought an even if you don't think Quender's a left winger, if he's a right winger, cool, you've got two 18-year-old right wings in the squad then when he comes in next season. Now, how are you building this squad in a way that, like, all of these players in the same fucking age group? Who's developing? Yeah. Who's learning off who?
Yeah, also CFC unit, I'm done with this nonsense of it's 16% of the window. With that 16%, Liverpool, fucking Man City got Reinders, Turkey, and other players. Fucking Liverpool got Frimpong and Kirk basically done and are working on a record fee.
They've got all three done. They're all done.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Can I make that? But sorry.
I'm sick of this. We got the lap. So why
CP? CP. The problem isn't that though. I don't think any of us are saying the window's a transaction fee. Our issue is just the way we do our dealings.
No,
bro.
Exactly. No, you're
That's
right.
what we complain about, bro. None of us here have said the windows.
Maybe I'll speak from personal experience. Maybe you guys can relate. It's like when I was in primary school for English people, like my first crush. I'm interested. I'm monitoring. Am I gonna talk to her? I don't know. I'm a little wuss. I'm 8 years old. I'm scared to talk to a girl at that point. Am I gonna talk to her? No. I think she's cute though. I'm interested. I'm monitoring. But what the fuck? Am I gonna make the move? When am I gonna make the move?
Probably not.
Exactly.
That's kind of what it feels like, though. It is what it feels like.
We're monitoring. We're doing this shit. We're not gonna make the move.
And this is where CFC unit, just so you understand my perspective on this too, it's like, and I think most of our perspectives, it's this fact that we were told in February and in January, oh, we didn't do much business in January, February because we're laying the groundwork. We're getting deals done ahead of time. We want to get as many deals done before Club World Cup and all this and that. We don't want to, we want to get the team ready to go before preseason. Look at Man City. Look at Liverpool. Look at how quickly they've been moving through the window. Look at how they've been negotiating, getting deals done. The only deal we've gotten done so far, and I'm going to be as fair as possible on this, you can tell me if you think it counts or not, right? Mamadou Sarr.
No.
Kenda.
This window, no.
Isugo.
No.
And Delap.
Yes.
No, Suyo got done in Jan, by the way. That's the fun thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sarr and Isugo basically got done in January, February. The only reason we couldn't sign Isugo is because of he played for 2 clubs in the same window.
Yes. And I also, JC, I think this comment, and also JC, I think this is not true though, bro. Like, if we're being logical about it, we probably need 2 other attackers at a minimum. One of them the left wing, and whoever the other one's gonna be, right? We still need another centre back. Everyone here agrees with that, and we also technically need a goalkeeper now. Petrovic is leaving the club, right? If we're trying to be an institution and want to take the club to the next level, right? We probably need another goalkeeper. Now, again, my problem. My problem becomes. Sorry, before you go.
I'll be real. I'm not addressing something stupid like that. You're genuinely your room temperature IQ, and you're just wanting to glaze these sporting directors till the day.
No, my problem is no one here said I want Rodrigo. I didn't say
I was going to address this.
No, Marshall. I'm gonna be so honest. You could say anything. He's gonna glaze. He's going to take these sporting directors' dick so far up his anus he can taste. He can taste it, bro. Like, I'm gonna be so real. He's just gonna dick ride them till he's blue in the face. Like, he's just gonna do that, and doesn't matter what you say. So don't address these people because they're fucking stupid. They have room temperature IQ.
Part of it's content, but also it's like, I understand not wanting to pay. Again, I don't mind the whole, negotiate for Magnan, negotiate for Rodrigo. I don't mind any of it. What I mind is, what have you done from January, February, March, April, May? The last 5 months where you could have done these pre-negotiations. What do you think Liverpool did? What do you think Man City have done? Do you think they were sitting on their hands and waiting for the window to open to start negotiating?
The only one we did was because it was a release clause and it was only 30 million. That's the only one we got.
And even then, that one had to wait until we were confirmed in Champions League or not.
Yeah, because we had to maybe...
No, I didn't.
Well, yeah, because United didn't know, because if United didn't get Champions League, because he was also...
If United got Champions League, we probably don't get the lap.
Yeah. My other thing is, big up to Larry. I think he just saying that to relax. I am relaxed in general. One second, I need to do my eye drop here, please. Yeah, my issue is, listen, I'm very relaxed. My problem is the process. That's what I said it again. It's not the players we're choosing. It's not everything like that. I just am annoyed at the process we keep on doing. That is what I'm getting angry at. If people cannot understand that, then I feel like we've got a problem here. I didn't talk about that.
What you don't understand. What you don't understand, bro, is that these sporting directors are doing a fantastic job. They're the best in the business. They literally can't do anything better. We are a fantastically well-run club.
Yeah, I don't know how hard it is to understand what we were just explaining, which is like, it's the fact that we're not getting these deals done.
No, it's not even that. How are we missing layups? This man's saying, let's get Rodrigo. You know who we could have gotten, my genius guy? Fucking Mike Maignan for fucking 20 million pounds. How about that?
And we didn't get it done. Yeah, and we knew, and these sporting directors should have known that he had 1 year
number
left.
one.
They should have known that he had 1 year left on his contract.
By the way, none of us said
before the summer started.
None of us said get Rodrigo for 300k right now as a first signing. But we said we wanted, even if you're signing,
number one,
even if you want to be get them done.
You're the worst.
What about Hato?
No, bro. It's great. It's great times.
No. Why can't we get a Hato? Why can't we get a Hato as a backup for Cucurella? We see Cucurella is dying. He's probably going to cost us.
We don't need one TP because we've got no one.
No. I'm saying we could get Hato done. Why can't we get?
But we don't need anyone.
That's what I'm saying.
Too,
Mike Money, he's right there. We're not asking. I'm not literally asking them to sign Vinny Jr. day one.
Yeah.
But we got the chance to sign Mike Maignan, and Mike Maignan is begging for us. And he's only costing me at most 25 million. euros? Are you on crack? And his
Gittens
wages aren't even on.
wants us,
And his wages aren't
we
even
still can't get it
insane.
done.
And he's not even on insane wages. We can afford him.
If I have to explain it one more time, I might actually lose my head. It's the fact that the negotiations.
Again, why are you trying to explain to these people?
Like it's pretty simple. Like I don't understand why people don't understand it. Like I get it. I've said this over and over again. Let me just be completely transparent with you, chat. Okay. Again, I'll explain it one more time. I don't care about the targets. I genuinely don't. I can't speak for you guys in the panel, but
you and I agree with that, Marshall. By the way, me and you agree.
I don't care about the targets. All right.
Yes.
The only targets I don't want are Garnacho, which Robert, you're obsessed with. That's your opinion. Fine. I don't want Garnacho, and I really want Malik Fofana. Right. I don't care about the targets. One more time. I don't care about the targets. It's proven time to time again that when we go for players that are unknown and stuff like that, they end up actually being ballers, and then I end up being wrong because I don't know what the player is. And a lot of the discrepancies with the fan base come from the fact that, oh, I don't know who this player is. He must be shit. That's not how scouting works. And quite frankly, if that's your opinion, you probably don't have a good opinion on the player. Now, if you come from a place of like, I've seen the player play, I don't think he's best for, then yeah, you can have that opinion. You can actually have a debate. You can actually have a discussion on football. Let's properly talk football, right? I've seen Malik Fofana play. I think he's a very, very good player. Some of you don't know who Malik Fofana is. Some of you heard Malik Fofana, 20 years old. Oh, another youngster. Don't lie. I know a lot of you did that. And then when a lot of these Chelsea YouTubers or Chelsea Twitter tacticals come out and say, oh, he's actually a good player, then you start to actually ride that dick and start to actually, he's actually a good player. Okay, so let's stop pretending that a lot of you guys have elite football opinions. Some of you don't have elite football opinions. You hear Leao, oh, he must be good. I know about Leao. That's how some of you have your opinions. But we continue on. Seattle, I swear to God.
He's offside.
Yeah, like the point.
Anyway, no, hold on. I didn't finish my point. Sorry, I got distracted.
Sorry, Marshall.
But anyways, that being said, I don't care about who you sign at this point because Duran was someone no one rated. Look what happened to him. Due was someone no one rated. Look what happened to him. Samuel Meridian, although he didn't have a good game today, he had a good season. Look what happened to him.
Did we sign any of the list?
Barcola, all of these players that we were linked to, all players we were linked to that so many of you did not rate, we didn't sign them. Look what happens. They go on to become ballers. Why am I pissed? Because you didn't actually sign those players. You could have just signed them. They were probably easier to sign when no one knew about them than they are now when people actually know about it, and it's now twice the price. So it's the negotiating that gets me annoyed. It's the fact that you told me, oh, in January, we didn't make any signings because we were busy working on signings for summer so that we can go into the Club World Cup with a more complete squad. You got Delap and you got a Sugo for the Club World Cup and Sar, if you want to count that. But that doesn't count either. That was a Strasbourg signing. We don't even know how good he's going to be for the first team. That's the issue. It's not that we haven't gotten signings done. It's the fact that you told us we were going to get signings done. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. You told us you were going to get signings done in the beginning. You still haven't gotten it done. We're still twiddling our thumbs. Meanwhile, Man City, Liverpool, all these guys have already gotten signings done because they actually laid the groundwork, not Chelsea. And again, what's going to happen when we don't get the negotiations done?
Terrible.
So... Yeah. Get it through the door. You might even pay overs, but at least get it through the door.
Sorry, and the same CFC unit person saying, "Oh, I have confidence that we're gonna get Manyan still this summer." What gives you that confidence if we fucked up Oshiman last year and we thought we were gonna get that in the bag? So what gives you the confidence with these sporting directors that we're gonna get this done?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm so annoyed that Malik Fofana is even being linked because now I have this impression that it's probably not going to happen now because so many deals don't go through the line. It's just links. Oh, scouted. We're inquiring. We do this and that. I want to hear, oh, Leon has agreed 43 million with Chelsea. Now I'm player to agree, move to Chelsea.
The problem is the one Danzo. My point. Marshall knows my point. I actually don't follow a lot of these accounts anymore. I made a personal mission of mine. Let's see and wait what's going to happen in the window. I've said this already, and I'm going to say this again. I just do not like the way we are always very public about negotiations, and B,
that's also true, yeah.
and then the process of our negotiations, right? That is all it is. I'm not saying the window's a disaster. I don't know. I need to clarify that twice now. I've clarified that twice already. The window's not over, chat. I can't say that yet, but I do not like our process of negotiating. That is, I think, more than fair enough to say.
No, Ahmed, you can't say that. Sporting Directors do a fantastic job, mate.
You know what I mean? Again, because like, you know what's funny? I'm not even criticizing the guys they're going after. I've actually stopped doing that because I've come to the realization there's no point in me doing that sort of shit because it's pointless. Because they're gonna pick their players, and that's fine by me. I know what we are as a club, but my main fundamental issue is just, you know, the negotiating angle is too public. The negotiating stuff is way too public, and they are at times I find they dilly-dally way too much than they need to.
And that's the thing, like, we're dilly-dallying too much. Like, I think there was, like, I said this before, and I think you guys remember me saying this, but when the Mignon deal happened, I'm pretty sure there was at some point in that discussion, in that negotiation, where they were like, all right, we'll do 17 million pounds, and Chelsea were like, no, 12.
No, I think what was the lowest? I can't remember the lowest we got down to. I want to say it was like 20. But fuck knows, man. Like, just
I have a show that revolves around this kind of stuff, so I have to read these.
It's just the sporting directors. But it is what it is with these guys. It's going to be jokes at the end of the day. Like, I'll keep my energy the same with what I said about whoever we get. Just perform, and if you don't perform, you can leave. Perform from day one, or fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Get the
Again,
fuck out.
Listen, you guys have to also, you guys in chat have to also understand. I do make some money off of this content, so to an extent, like, you guys tell me, oh, but just stop reading the news. Okay, then you pay me what YouTube pays me to do this. Then how about that? So to an extent, I can't really do that. As much as you're right, I would love to do that. I can't necessarily do that. That's more for you guys who are the viewers to do if you would like to, which, hey, you're more than welcome to click off the stream if, you know, this kind of news and this kind of stuff and this venting frustrates you. I think all of us here are being pretty rational too, considering not from the very beginning, we've given the benefit of the doubt on so many things in terms of the ownership, in terms of the transfer. You could even say the fact that I'm saying I don't care about the signings is me giving the benefit of the doubt to the directors. I have to be critical where criticism is due, and I got to give praise where praise is due. So this is just the channel I run. Like, imagine if I was a Minerals where I was just saying, oh, owner's out the whole time. Like, you guys wouldn't tune in. Like, let's just be real about this whole
think
situation.
sometimes, bro, I just wonder, why aren't we allowed to be objective? Because, like, right now, I'm being objective.
We're being objective.
Because right now, I'm being objective.
No, Ahmed, you're not allowed, mate. You're criticizing the sporting directors. You're not allowed, mate.
Like, I'm really happy that Malik Fofana is being linked, but I hate the fact that it's just a link. It's nothing's being done.
But I'm not even listen, none of us here have gotten emotional about any of the players. Did you get emotional about Fofana, Marshall? I didn't get emotional about Fofana.
No, I'm not phased because I don't think it's going to happen.
Right? Nothing. We have not said anything wrong about the players. We have not criticized any incomers or outgoings. What have we criticized is the same periodic situations that have happened in previous windows and has taken place somewhat in this beginning of this current window. No one has said they have done a bad job in terms of recruitment yet, because barring Delap, they've not recruited anyone else. We are criticizing the method of recruitment. There's no other way to put it.
Getting the job done. It's nice to print out a nice blueprint and say, like, we're going to have a nice 3-bathroom house with 4 bedrooms and all this shit and that. That's nice. Yeah. It looks nice. Get it done. Get it done.
Yeah.
That's the criticism.
Because, again, that's it. All we're asking is, can we get these deals done, please? That's all we're asking for.
Yeah.
No one here said the play is bad, the play is good, the play is trash, sporting directors are trash because they're getting trash players. No one here said that. We are talking about them simply doing their ability of negotiating.
Yeah. So I hope that makes more sense to chat. If you don't understand it, I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore. I think we're being very objective when it comes to this. We're not directors. Well, we are, but we're not yelling from the rooftops. Directors out, they're shit. Every single target they have is shit.
Sure about that.
We're not, we're not saying here, oh, Estevao is shit. He's gonna flop at Chelsea. We're not being super ultra negative. We're also at the same time not gonna be like, oh, good, we're linked to Malik Fofana. Oh, look, we're linked to Gittens. Oh, these players are gonna be generational, world-class players. Oh, we're gonna win the league next season, guys. We're gonna win the UCL. Objectivity. We look at it as it is. We're not gonna glaze it up. We're not gonna heavily criticize. It's just what this channel is about.
No, I'll be real. I'll be completely honest. When it comes to sporting directors, if you in any way back them, anything that they do after their track record at this club, then you are glazing them, because they've done nothing so far. And if you want to talk to me about the one like anomaly in Cole Palmer, cool, great, fantastic. If anything, that's Joe Shields. The sporting directors, just as a singular, just as those two, they should have been sacked months ago. Like, they should not be here at this football club.
Okay.
They have done nothing but
One
fail
more
at this football club since they've been
This
here.
is the last time I'm going to repeat it, specifically for you, Larry Patrick. This
He's
isn't
retarded, bro.
the window didn't just open. This is the second time the window opened. And not only that, again, you didn't do anything in January, right? We were told, right? Follow along. We were told that you didn't do anything in January because you wanted to get business and deals done ahead of time so that you're ready for Club World Cup. And Gittens was linked to us back in January. Who else was linked to us back in January? Mark Gahey. All these other players were linked to us back in January. Again, this isn't the first window. This is the second window, people. These deals should have been done already. Look at how many deals Man City got done. Look at how many deals Liverpool have gotten done already. And Liverpool aren't even in the fucking Club World Cup. And they're already getting deals done. This is what I'm getting at. These guys already planned ahead of time. Their directors actually know how to get deals done. Ours don't. Ours know how to scout talent. Ours know, and again, this is me giving praise, right? Ours know how to get talent done or get scout talent. Ours know how to, look for the talent ID and all that bullshit that you guys talk about, get the right profiles, all that, right? They don't get the deals done or across the line. And that is the criticism I have. And I think that's the criticism that, Ahmed has as well. Whether Scott, I know Scott doesn't agree. I know Scott has more criticism as well. And CP might have his own criticism. But yeah, that's
what are you saying, Marshall?
Issue. No, I just said that you agree with me. That's getting the deals done. It's not the talent ID. It's not the scouting. It's get the deals done.
I just think you can't on one hand tell us, in June.
Negotiate it, Robert.
Just no. My problem always becomes you can't tell us, we've got the deals prepped. June time, we're getting the vast majority of our signings in, and then we're just going to keep it moving. It's the 20th of June today. Yeah.
I hope when you're lied to, you can stay relaxed then, because we were lied to.
Listen. If this is this relaxed,
again, these men can get cucked by their girlfriends, and they'll say, "Thank you, sir. Please give me some more." Bro, that's literally what it is, bro. Like, that's what it is with these men. That's what it is with these guys. Yeah. Like, they would happily get shit on by these sporting directors. They would literally eat shit given to them by these sporting directors, and they go, "Thank you, sir. May I have some more? Please, sir, give me some more."
But Robert, just to simply answer your question here, it's just like they're overpaying for every player. Is that what y'all want us to do? No. All I'm asking, Robert, is get your negotiating, whatever price you want to pay for Gittens or Fofana and all that stuff. Just get it done in March, February. Get it, just pre-agreements, all that stuff, like we did with Nkunku. We got Nkunku and Malagusto done before our next season started. Why can't we do that?
Like we did with Sar and Estugo.
Yeah. Why can't you just do that? You did it for other players. Why can't you do it for these players that actually would help us out tremendously right now going into Club World Cup? I don't know why it has to be so difficult. You had all that time. You knew the targets you wanted.
The fact I'm even entertaining this whole conversation with these retards is kind of a bit much. But like, let's just take the Gittens thing for example. You spent a month negotiating to give them the same fucking money they wanted at the start. Great business plan. Great business plan. Like, great, fantastic, wonderful, amazing job, lads. You went in there. They went, we want 60 million euros or 55 million euros. You went, no, we'll pay you. I don't know what we offered. I know it was like 30 million pounds, whatever the equivalent of that in euros is. They went, no. We went, okay. we'll pay you 55 million euros. They went, no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cool. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, whatever we do, like in terms of signings, these guys better perform immediately. There's no waiting on these guys. There's no benchmark in terms of like, oh, we've got to wait. They're only young. No, bro. If I'm expecting, by the way, the new winger we get 15 goals, 15 GNA in the league minimum next season, minimum. In fact, I'd prefer 20 to be honest. Minimum.
But listen, again, this is where I step in, and I know what we are. The guys you're gonna sign are not gonna score 15 goals a season for you.
Then they're not fucking improving from what we have. They're not improving.
No, but we know. But again, as I said before, we know the way the club is run. This is why I don't actually criticize the way the club is run, because I know what the club is running like. They're getting in the.
No, but Ahmed, they're not. No, but Ahmed, they're not run like that. They're not run like that, because if they were run like that, like, then they would just keep these guys that they're trying to develop. But the fact of the matter is, like, the whole Noni thing, which I assume we're going to touch on a bit, like,
we already did.
If they actually were committing to what they're trying to do, they would keep him until he got to the point of developing. They would be trying to replace him with someone else. They're trying to replace him with someone else because he has not been good enough, or to the level that, like, is expected. So they're trying to replace him. Yeah, they're trying to replace him with someone like a Gittens. Cool. So when Gittens comes in, I'm expecting actually maybe more than 15. 15 is like average, because Noni got 11, and we said he had a shit season. So 15 to me is average. I'm expecting 17, 18 GNA minimum from my winger next season. Because if these guys aren't coming in and being significantly better than what we've got, what is the point? You're spending money for no reason. Like, no reason. So these guys better perform when they come in. There's no waiting. You don't get time. You have to perform immediately. Because no one wanted to give these other players time, and that's calm. Like, these guys need to perform immediately.
Listen, for me, just show me something to believe in. That's it. My standard for what to expect from some of these talents is low. I do think we can get results regardless of the talents that we bring in. Do I think we're going to challenge for the league? Right now, I'm not going to say yes. I think we can, entertain it for a little bit, but I don't think we can consistently stay up there. I do think Delap is a good signing. I think it's been a fantastic signing, but time will tell if he actually ends up being that fantastic signing. For the price that we paid for him, I got to give kudos to that one. Like, that's a good signing. It's a good target that we were in for. Obviously, other clubs were in for it, but like, yeah, Joe Shields. I think the fact that the directors pulled the trigger on that and didn't dilly dally like they did other ones, that's good, and that's where I give some praise.
But Marshall, they didn't have to. Marshall, remember again, with that one they didn't have to dilly dally, because this goes back to a point. Maybe CP made no, not even just Joe Shields. There was a release clause.
Yeah,
they didn't have to negotiate shit. Well, sorry, they did negotiate a little bit, but it's just a case of like, I don't know how, because I know release clauses are confusing me nowadays. Where I know some release clauses.
I always thought they were non-negotiable. Apparently, they're negotiable.
Yeah, I thought you had to pay the whole amount up front, but maybe like that wasn't the case. What's it called? With the release clause, maybe they had to negotiate how many installments that was going to be paid in, similarly to like the Cunha one, for example, or the Huson one, I think as well. But outside of that, like, you knew what the price was. You knew you're paying £30 million. You didn't have to negotiate in terms of, are they going to accept this? No, they had to accept £30 million. It was just negotiate how you're going to pay it. Cool. That was nice and simple. And it was also Ipswich who were like, we're going to accept, because of the amount of people that were interested. So you didn't have to really work for that one. But all the others you had to work for, I've said this before, these sporting directors, and it's mainly the sporting directors that have this issue with. These sporting directors cannot close deals, have a real inability at closing deals where they don't have someone holding their hands. Like, if it's not Jorge Mendes, if it's not these owners, and it's not Joe Shields, these guys just cannot close deals effectively.
Yeah, and that's the biggest criticism. For me, it's not even the targets. Like Scott said, we have tried. Not Scott. I mean, Kai said here. Or no, Scott did say that, but I'm reading into Kai's comments here. But I think another factor is, like, we've tried and tested this whole buy experience, like Koulibaly, Aubameyang, and all these things. Just they didn't work out. I think you can have a balance of it, which we thought was the case last season when we brought in like the Joao Felixes
No, but
and
we bought
in all this
Koulibaly
stuff.
no, we bought the experience when we had no sporting director though. Koulibaly and Aubameyang was Boli.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it didn't work
Also,
out.
like trying, like,
So, like,
the thing I think Kai mentioned
that's
this
why I don't
earlier,
care.
and like
there's
the
both
Nkunku
sides of
one,
the argument.
the Nkunku one is a legit, like, you can say, okay, that was a fuck up. That was also kind of Vivell as well, but you can say, regardless who signed him, that
You
was
can't
a
just go
fuck
back
up,
and
right?
forth then, Kai. What are we doing then?
No, but I think the reason I want experience, and when people use the like Koulibaly and Aubameyang thing, and the reason it's stupid and Sterling, all of those three players have something in common. They were all 30 or above, and they were all on the downturn of their career. None of them were in their peak. They were all on the down on the down in their career. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
and also,
what did you expect? Like, what did you expect from any of them? Nkunku, fair enough. Like, that was just a fuck up of all. Like, that's a fuck up across the board from just in terms of that planning that transfer. The guy you bought in terms of manager working with Nkunku, like the whole Nkunku transfer as a whole was a fuck up just from everything. But yeah, like this idea of like when people ask for experience, like I would like some experience at centre back, for example, with whoever we get centre back, I like it to be experienced.
Yeah,
I'm not asking for a 35-year-old player. I'm asking for a Mark Guehi who's played in the Premier League multiple seasons, has been a captain, is a regular international, has played in international tournaments. If he doesn't join this season, will have played in Europe. Like it's the same thing. Manyan's also in his peak, by the way. Manyan has gone down the last couple of years. He's also in his peak. He's not as good as he was a couple of years ago in terms of being best in the world. He's still at the level.
The problem right now is that when we went for the experience, we did that with zero scouting. By the way, we did that with zero scouting, no director of football, no nothing. Right? We then obviously went down the complete opposite route in terms of what we wanted to do. Project 2030, etc., 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 and that has somewhat worked up until now. Somewhat worked. I'm gonna say right now, yes, we've kind of gone back to where we were from 3 years ago, right? In the sense that we've got a team now that's kind of taking us back to Champions League football in the top 4.
Yep.
The problem now is that we need to go from that section now to the next level. Now, ideally,
which is winning the league,
right? All right. Ideally, then. Yeah, we are missing experience, right? But there's going to be certain positions, as I said before, where that's not going to be possible. I think centre back, I've said this before, is going to be very well hard placed. Maybe barring a Guehi, in my personal opinion, to find the level of experience maybe that you actually ideally want in that position, right? In my personal opinion. Now, however, some might say if you look in the attack, if you look in the striker zone, you can probably find it in that aspect, right? So that's probably where I would probably argue you might want to be looking at in that sort of thing. In terms of goalkeeper, listen, I know a lot of people wanted Magnon. I really would have wanted Magnon, but I'm like, even if you lose out on Magnon, bringing in a Chevalier into the equation, into the team,
or just keep Petrovic,
right? Or even keep Petrovic, right? Yeah. Keep Petrovic or bring in a Chevalier. I actually would be more than happy with that, right? So it's not the end of the world losing Magnon. If you still bring in a guy, if you keep
the guy we have,
if you keep the guy that we have, or even if you if you're a British nation and you just love that guy, bring that guy in. That's also quality as well. So again, this is why I think it's a bit more of a nuanced take I'm giving right here, right? It's not necessarily. I'm not gonna say every position needs to have experience because that's not always going to be the case. There's certain positions where there's gonna be naturally a lack of experience in the market, right? So let's look at the other places where we can gain that experience.
I'm not addressing it. I've seen it. I'm not addressing it, man.
I'm addressing it. I don't care. So
no, please, because I need to move on. I need to move on, and I already explained it, TP. Like,
it's okay.
No,
it's not that.
Regurgitating the same thing over and over.
No. I'm saying for CFC unit earlier saying top 4 for the youngest.
Oh, that wasn't a comment. I thought you were going to address.
No, I know. I'm gonna go through all the ones I've had an issue with. Yeah, it's not working for me. You know what working means? Working is winning the Premier League or Champions League. That's the only shits I give about. We're not Arsenal. We're working. Working is top 4. Top 4 for me this season was what I needed. So then next season I go for the fucking league. I want us to go for the league. And next season is the only season I'll be fine with us losing. I mean us not winning the league, and we have to be at most 9 points behind the league winner. And the season after, I am demanding we win the league. And if they don't, I want everyone sacked. I want the SD sacked.
We need to
and I
keep
want the
making
manager
progress.
sacked.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about this almost bullshit. I want to win trophies, major trophies, many smaller ones along the way to winning the major ones. But I want the major ones. Stop. We're not Arsenal. We make fun of Arsenal. Let's stop this. And we just like Arsenal, we're also linked. Remember Arsenal's hated in Wenger? They were linked with Suarez. They made a bid for this guy. Oh my God, they could have got CR7 before.
They could have, would have, should have.
Before, yeah, exactly.
And that's how
And
we're
we're
kind of
exactly
moving
like
in a
this.
sense.
We're exactly like them. We're acting exactly like them. We could have got Dewey. We could have got Barcola. We could have got Kravitz-Kelly. Yeah, we could have. We could have got Oshman. Did we get them? Fuck no.
And that's that's what I mean. Like, that's the frustrating part. It's like, I don't want to be a coulda, woulda, shoulda team. Like, and again, I'm not saying pay the price. Negotiate ahead of time. That's what I'm asking. Simply said, simply put, negotiate ahead of time. Don't wait till the transfer window to start negotiating. Negotiate ahead of time. Pretend that the top 2 major clubs of every single top 5 league is after the target you're going for. So what are you going to do? You're going to get the negotiating done ahead of time. That's how I want our directors to move.
And Marshall,
Get negotiations done ahead of time.
Michael Edwards' heyday, and them even now, since Michael Edwards has come back, you know what Liverpool were good at getting done? Their work done fucking early.
Yep.
They were done their work.
I don't think what I'm asking is very unreasonable. It's just get your homework done before the due date.
Marshall, you don't understand. I think you're being unrealistic.
The Liverpool side, it's won leagues and Champions Leagues. You know what they get during their heyday is they get their work done early. Just like this year, they're getting their work done early. They get their shit done 3 weeks into the window, and then they're like, if we need someone, if something happens, then we'll make a signing. Other than that, what?
You know my issue is, Larry, no one here is saying
CFC, we haven't won the league in 8 years.
Yeah, but my issue is, I'm gonna direct
don't.
this at Larry. My issue is, I didn't say the experience we got to sign is a guarantee. Just as a lot of our young players that we've signed have not always been guaranteed, are not guaranteed either. But I'm saying having some level of good experience, they doesn't need to necessarily need they hit straight away, but like you don't need them to be. You just need them there. Just help your other young guys move along in the process, right? Because the young guys are your main core. These guys are meant to be, the finishing, or the polishes to help your guys, reach that level. That's all you need. Like again, all we need to look at is just the previous season. There were times there where if we just had one or two more guys that are just a bit more of in a leadership role, a bit more of that experience, the know-how to calm the players down, or maybe just help the players through that straight, we would have been a lot more, I would probably say, we would have had top 4 a lot more smoother. We would have had a smoother top 4 race. Yep. Does that make sense? Right? Also, that's all it is. Like, I'm not even here to say the players we even sign are bad. I'm just saying, let's get 1 or 2 pieces in places where they are a lot more plentiful, and they're going to add value. But again, that's all it is.
And also, CFC unit, you saying we don't win the league, we haven't won in 8 years. And the last major trophy now it's going to be year 4. Year 4. We won in 2021. This is year 4.
My thing about Noni is that if you're gonna sell Noni, you have to bring in someone better. That's the best way I always put it.
No,
like, when you lose a player, you have to bring in someone better. Now, I think people are saying if Kudus comes in, he's a better replacement. All right, that's fair enough. True. I don't mind.
Fuck Kudus. Keep Noni.
No, I think he's just doing it for the chat, not you, Ahmed.
Yeah, he's doing it for the chat. But he just, for me, I don't like this thing of like, sometimes that the way people act, the one thing I don't like, Marshall.
I'm here to educate you.
Sorry, CP, The one thing I just don't like is sometimes when people try to do the nonchalant gimmick. You know what I mean? It's a big thing in the 21st century for some reason that people love doing this nonchalant gimmick. Oh, don't worry, it's only this time, it's only that time. And then, they want to worry about, then they want to get angry and worried about stuff, when it's August the 5th, August the 16th, we're in the first game of our season, and all of our signings may have been made in the last week of that season, of the game happening, or something like that.
They missed out on the preseason, they're not ready for the beginning of the,
Exactly.
These are all factors that people want to ignore, and it's just like, again, like, I'm not gonna repeat myself, and quite frankly, I really want to move on to the next topic because we've been talking
move on.
about
I
this
don't want to deal with
way too much now.
Yeah, I
It's
can see where our fan base has become, though. By the way, this is pathetic.
yeah,
Arsenal fans.
it's like
I think TM said it earlier. The Arsenal fans.
We are Arsenal fans. Yeah, we are.
yeah. By we, you mean
the chat.
Portion of the
glazing this bullshit.
Portion of the chat, a portion of people on Twitter. Not us, because like I said, like I like to believe I try to get the benefit of the doubt. I try to criticize when criticism is due. You know, I'm not to single out Scott, but like I do give credit to the directors. For example, like Santos was a good signing, and we're going to see it this summer. I do give credit to Esteval. He's looking like a really good talent. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I also have to criticize, bro, where are the signings that we need? Because you guys in chat, us here who are not professionals, already saw the deficiencies in the team that it needed way before we needed to get into the summer window. And if I was the sporting directors, I probably would have been less focused on the football on the pitch and more focused on what we need to get done so that the football on the pitch does get better. The parts that we already know we have deficiencies
also,
in.
one
Just get
one
it
last
done.
one last
Ahead
thing
of
to
time.
add to you,
Yeah.
Marshall. If anyone in the chat criticizes saying, "Well, you're not a director," or "You're not," do you know how we've seen in all walks of life people get into positions they're not good enough to be in? So don't give me this bullshit.
Yeah. So again, and this is the thing, guys, if you're new here, if you're just tuned in, understand I don't have a panel that always agree with me. This is not an echo chamber. I don't agree with everything Scott says. I don't agree with everything Ahmed says. I don't agree with everything CP says. We do go back and forth. We have differentiating opinions. Some of us more negative than others. Some of us more positive than others. It wasn't that long ago where I was called deluded for thinking we were going to make the UCL on this very panel.
Oh, fuck it, Marshall. No, bro. I'll be real. You weren't deluded enough. We're winning the league this season. I don't think you understand.
That's what I'm saying. But at the same time,
I'm joking. By the way, I'm joking. I'm running this the whole fucking season. I'm running this toxic positivity the whole fucking season.
Treble season loading spot.
Yeah, bro, we're winning the treble. We're winning everything.
I hope so. All right, because I'll play off that. I'll use that to my advantage. But yeah, they never agrees with you. I think they agree with me sometimes. But
don't worry, EPO tough, man. I definitely don't agree with you, EPO tough, man, because you know
there's no echo chamber here. There's no echo chamber here. So like we are gonna have debates, we are gonna have discussions back and forth, and you're never gonna find the same opinion, yes man, no man, here on Casually FC. We are gonna have differentiating opinions. This is what we're all about. We're not always gonna agree, and we're gonna have back and forth debate, because that's honestly not everything that the sporting directors does is good. Not everything that they do is shit. I'm not going to make a channel that I propagandize that we're absolutely finished, but I'm also not going to be a happy-go-lucky channel that says everything Chelsea is doing is sunshine and rainbows. So with that being said, after that very long segment, I think it's time we talk about an interest that doesn't move me whatsoever, and it's the interest on Joao Pedro.
No, fuck it, bring him.
Okay, we're going to bring him, boys.
Next Neymar,
He's going
bro.
to be generational. Next Neymar. Next Neymar. And by the way, the Sounders, Atletico, the Sounders and Atletico Madrid game finished on 1-3. Sounders had many opportunities to score, and unfortunately, the quality is just not there. It was a relatively good game, though. Okay. So Joao Pedro is very rated by Chelsea. Big potential, knows the league, and covers multiple positions, which is not wrong. Chelsea believe he would be perfect addition to the squad, but there's no negotiation so far. Meanwhile, Newcastle are already working club to club for him. Chelsea seriously consider Joao Pedro in their list of Newcastle are in active toss. Sesko personal terms not agreed. Grealish and Napoli nothing concrete. Sancho exit conditions now clarified. Nico Williams exists on Barca, which we'll talk about Nico Williams. But another one that the club are interested in. I think Joao Pedro's all right. I don't think he's. I feel like Joao Pedro comes into this team and he starts when Neto and Noni are shit. Other than that, if they're at their best, he is at best maybe a utility bench player, in my opinion. I don't think he's good starting material. He's absolutely world class. What am I talking about, Scott? You're absolutely right. On to AI Ahmed.
He's not paying attention.
Remember when he was telling us we weren't paying attention during the game?
Yeah, he was the only one paying attention apparently when the game was on. But Ahmed,
Now when the game.
that's Ahmed. Hello.
Sorry, what happened?
Fucking hell, bro.
My apologies. So listen, Joao Pedro.
This guy's not even person.
Sorry, no. I literally.
You're giving Chris a run for his money, you know.
No.
You
This is
really
WhatsApp.
are.
Sorry.
You really
I was
are.
listening to like a WhatsApp message. Sorry, my apologies. But
Big
You
up,
weren't
bro,
paying
Chris.
attention.
no. Sorry, no. I
You weren't
couldn't hear.
locked
I was somewhat locked in. I was like,
That's
reading.
actually crazy.
Somewhat, yeah.
Chris.
But essentially, when it comes to Joao Pedro, the question I ask is, if we're bringing Joao Pedro, who's you replacing? So I always come back to, right? Because who's he meant to be replacing? Is he meant to be added? Is he meant to be added to the squad, or who's he replacing? That's what I'm saying. Because like Joao Pedro essentially is a striker left wing, right? He's a striker left wing, right? So unless he's meant to be like a Jackson replacement, or you're adding him into the team, right? I don't really see how he works, Marshall, right? Because like let's just say Jackson's on the way out. Joao Pedro doesn't make sense to me, Marshall. I don't know about you. Or defense weapon,
I don't think he's a needle mover. That's what I think of him. I think
no, it's not even about whether or not he's a needle mover, bro. I'm asking you, if you bring him into the squad, who's your replacement? I know someone just mentioned Nkunku, which is a good point.
He replaces Jadon Sancho on the bench.
He probably replaces
That's
Nkunku
honestly
on the
my
bench.
thoughts. Like
I think he replaces Nkunku on the bench. Actually, I think it's better to say he replaces.
Oh
Nkunku
yeah,
on the bench.
Nkunku on the bench. Yeah. That's right.
Like,
Yeah,
but-
you're not wrong.
right?
Yeah.
So probably he replaces Nkunku on the bench.
That's actually a
So-
really good shout. He replaces
Right,
Nkunku.
so-
Yeah.
He replaces Nkunku on the bench, but I think again,
Which
I'm not
again,
here
he's
to-
not a starter, so it doesn't.
you know,
yeah.
like, but the thing is though, like obviously with him, from what I know about him, he's got a terrible medical history, right? Because he's quite injury prone.
He
It
got
is-
injured for a good portion
right,
last season.
Right,
yes.
right. But like at the same time, one thing I will say about him, if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, progressive passes, progressive carries per 90. You know what I mean? What's the thing where you get past players?
Dribble pass,
Dribble pass, yeah.
successful
Like he's,
dribbles, yeah.
Yeah. Like he's in like the very upper 90 percentile. So I
that's
understand
good.
maybe from a club
Wait a
perspective.
fucking second. Do Atletico Madrid have our same exact trainers but in red?
Yes.
You didn't know that?
The fuck?
Bro, they could be playing Atletico and Chelsea could be playing all the time.
Every
I
time,
don't give a shit about Atletico Madrid. That's Ahmed looking.
Yeah,
Well-
Nike copy and paste shit all the time, man.
Yeah, you
What
didn't
the
know this?
fuck, Nike?
Yeah, it's a
But
secret.
Atletico and Chelsea literally swap kits every season, by the way. I don't know if you check
Yeah.
their ways and
I did
third
not
kits
know
all the
that,
time.
actually. I
Yeah,
thought that was
but
conspiracy,
listen,
but go ahead.
but listen, but
sorry.
like the point I'm trying to make is that essentially he probably is meant to be the Nkunku replacement, right? And so if that's the case, statistically he makes sense in terms of what the club is looking for. Maresca system, 1v1 demons, guys that can get past their man, guys that can make a good pass to help unlock the team. So for me, he fits the bill data-wise, right? Would he be maybe right? So again, this is why you have to take yourself out of the equation. Your opinion does not matter, Marshall. Your opinion does not matter, bro. The player statistics matter, and in statistics, that's what he shows. So for me, again, it seems that Newcastle.
Wait. Sorry, Ahmed. I just have to interrupt. CFC unit, why are you complaining the window's not over yet? Don't worry, we've got plenty of time.
Scott, you're right. Yeah, why are you complaining?
Why are you complaining? We've got plenty of time.
It's only 16%, Scott. Remember, it's only
We've only had 6
it's only
days. Why are you
60% of the window done.
And also, and like, listen, I'm not gonna be as harsh to CFC. I'm not gonna be as harsh. I'm not gonna be harsh. I'm not gonna be.
Nah. Big up CFC unit. Took it like a champ.
No, but obviously, if I'm gonna be a little bit fair to CFC unit, one of the things about Nkunku that a lot of people seem to forget, is that Nkunku's agent is a super agent, Penny Zahavi, right? So he's never gonna allow. So he's never. Listen, and you know what? Super agents at Chelsea are like. He's never, if Chelsea ever want to work with him again, they're never gonna put him in with the bomber squad like with Joao Felix and other people, basically, right?
Yeah,
So he's always gonna come to the Club World Cup, and I think to an extent, you also want him there to maybe if he starts playing a bit well, because his future is also in doubt. Yeah, that he starts playing well and maybe he's able to get a move.
Bayern is there, the team that we want to sell him to. So
exactly, right? So I just think for me again, EPL Club is a great point. It's also a great cost-cutting method, right? In the sense that he's going to be on a far lower wage than Nkunku, but does the Nkunku job. Right? So
I agree.
That's exactly what we need.
Right, but the thing is, yeah,
Ahmed, in all seriousness,
he's better than Nkunku.
I can't do this thing. That's exactly what we need in the squad, isn't it? An Nkunku replacement. Yeah.
Listen,
the thing is, though, like, let's be real. Like, if Nkunku was actually like performing well, like,
what?
Listen.
The problem with Nkunku is his weight is also from the Marshall.
Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase.
Yeah, you're gonna have to repeat
as a replacement for Nkunku. I think Joao Pedro is absolutely fine because I do think in this team, if in the current form, Joao Pedro is a better player than Nkunku. I don't think he's actually a better player than Nkunku. I think Nkunku goes to another club and he actually becomes, top class, world class again. However, am I moved by this move? Not really. He's not a starting signing, and we need. I'm sorry
to tell you, Marshall, your opinion doesn't matter. That's why I've not even given my opinion.
My opinion doesn't matter. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
he's spitting. I'm spitting again. To be fair, Cook.
Listen, Scott watches me regularly now. EPL Tough can even vouch for me.
No,
I don't talk about. I don't give player opinions anymore.
Yeah,
I don't give player opinions.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't give player opinions anymore. I just look statistically. Does he fit the system? He does.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And again, the thing for me, at least with him, is that I feel like a lot of it is agent talk.
Sorry. I'm looking at this guy, bro. Like, what was it you said, Marshall? He fits the system better than Nkunku.
No, I just think he'd be if Nkunku was at his best. I don't know, man. I think he's better than Nkunku in this team.
Bro, Marshall, I'm looking at where this guy has played mostly this season. It's mostly number 10 and second striker. Like, fuck off. Yeah. Like, we need another one of those to not work.
But he actually would move. He's actually more dynamic. I'm not saying Nkunku's not that, and Nkunku's just not that. So what you're telling me is he's
right?
So Marshall, what I'm hearing is he can pick the ball up from the centre backs in like the left back area really well, and combine with our centre mids in that area. Yeah. That's what
I'm saying. I'm not moved by the signing. Like, statistically, yeah, he might be good, but like, I don't think he's.
Again,
I don't think
Marshall,
he moves the needle.
Your feelings don't matter. Your feelings don't matter.
That was a good one. You want to roll?
Yeah, man. Your feelings don't matter, man. No one's feelings matter. Does he fit the system? He fits the system. That's what it just comes down to.
He don't even fit the system.
My problem, by the way, this signing would be a bench signing. That's just
my thing for me, though. Like with him in particular, though, is about like if you are targeting him, you're seriously considering him. You're starting club talk. You're starting player to agent talks. You're starting club to agent to player agent talks already, right? Mm-hmm. You know Newcastle already ahead of you. They're talking to Brighton already.
Let's go.
What's the price going to be? That's what you need to ask yourself now. Because unless you're planning to hijack it from what Newcastle is doing right now, I don't know how much you're going to pay for him. How much do you even want right now?
What has been quoted is 50 million.
Right, but the thing is, 50 million is probably what Newcastle's negotiating. If you step in there, Brighton's thinking 60 M's on the top, please.
Wait, question.
65 M's on the top.
Where would Joao Pedro play for Newcastle? Because if Pedro's bought for 50 to 60 million, is Isak?
I'll be real. He's probably the Isak. He's probably the Isak.
He's the Isak backup, I think. And also, like how what's his name again?
I just don't want Isak to leave. I'm scared.
That's the thing. So that's the thing for me.
Yeah,
right?
I say he's the Isak backup to also prepare themselves for if they ever get the thing of Isak going.
Isak, like next year after. Okay, first.
Because at the moment their backup is Osula. Because I think Wilson, his contract has ended, but they're trying to negotiate something.
Oh my god!
But yes, like.
If your task come out, just read the end.
Which one?
Oh,
Jesus Christ. I think the Pedro thing to me is just weird because, like, as I said, I don't think, even though going back to something I said earlier in terms of what we looked at with this versatile striker, he's someone that fits the best because of the positions he can play. When you actually deep the positions he can play, outside of the 10, which cool, we're going to bring him in to be the Palmer backup. You're going to spend 50 mil on the Palmer backup. Fantastic. The guy who's going to play 90% of the season, you're going to bring a backup in for him to play 9 minutes again.
I mean, Scott, we got a 40 million Palmer backup, but since he wasn't good enough, now we're going to spend more.
We would have spent, by the way, if we get him, we would have spent 150 million on Palmer backups for them to play a combined 800 minutes. Great, fantastic business. But yeah, so I'm trying to work out with like.
You're watching the Suga highlights?
It just doesn't. I don't really work out where it fits in the system. Because I'm trying to think, like, we don't play with a second striker. he could play as the striker, but cool. So we're saying he's the backup to Delap. He's the Jackson replacement. I guess, but for me, there's better options out there.
This is what's confusing me about like my thing right now, bro.
Sorry, Ahmed. Like, I think there's better options out there than getting Pedro as the number 9 backup. For me personally,
no, he's the cheapest option.
No, he's not though. Left wing, he's not a touchline winger. So if people want to use the argument of like, oh, profile, well, he doesn't fit the profile. Like, if you're going to go and get him for left wing, go and get Rodgers, who's better. Yeah, it's going to cost you more money, but
Rodgers is like him. He's not a touchline winger. Is Rodgers a touchline?
No, but that's my point of like.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make, right?
If you're getting him for left wing, he's not a touchline winger, so he doesn't fit that mold.
Oh.
So if you're going to spend 50 for him to be a backup left winger, I'll be real. I didn't even rate him. You might as well go and get Gittens. At least he is a touchline winger. I don't rate him, but at least he's a touchline winger.
But let's make this argument to you, though, Scott.
He's literally being brought in to be the backup at these positions, but it's like he doesn't really fit these positions anyway. Like, I just come back to it of like, it's spending this money on this kind of player for me and a backup when we have other positions that are of a bigger need.
Marshall.
For me, it's just odd. Like,
Marshall.
It doesn't make sense in terms of like if the rest of our squad was sorted,
he's
if like the
ever again.
Listen, no, but like the point listen, the problem I'm having right now, is listen,
we're just
Joao
rewatching
Pedro,
the highlights, Scott.
my personal opinion, Joao Pedro is the cheapest option.
All black saves.
There's no one cheaper than him that the club are looking at. Rodgers is more expensive than him.
No,
is more expensive.
What position?
I'm looking at him specifically for left wing 10. That's what I'm looking at him for, right? That's probably what you're looking for. For left wing 10, he is the cheapest.
What cost are you talking about, by the way?
Transfer price.
No, hang on.
The Porto Costa, the one that should probably
by the way,
Diogo
Diogo Costa isn't playing. That's not Diogo Costa.
Yeah, but I think Chat agrees with me, right? Chat, like, he's the cheapest option for us, right? Joao Pedro is going to be more expensive for you. Morgan Rodgers is going to be more expensive.
Morgan Rodgers can play wing, by the way, very effectively. And if you think he can't, then I don't know what game you watch.
No, what me? I'm not saying they can play touchline, though. That's the point I'm trying to make.
No, I'm talking about the chat. There's a couple people in the chat.
Yeah, I don't think he can play touchline winger, but he can play wing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the club's been linked to view this is going to be more expensive than him. Kudus, Morgan Rodgers. Who else? Someone else help me out with any other name that I'm missing. Even Ekitike, maybe. Even Ekitike to an extent.
He's not a winger. He's not a winger.
But they're saying that he can play, that he's versatile enough.
Yeah, but he's not a winger.
I could see him playing.
Exactly, no, but
he's
I
not
know. Listen, I understand, Scott, but I'm just talking about what they believe. Let's not think about what we believe. It's what they believe.
Yeah, they believe, brother. They believe.
So all those four guys that I mentioned.
No, wait. Just quickly. They believed in Kunku could play up front.
Yeah, but listen. Yeah, but he can technically play up front. It's not in the Premier League. It's not in the Premier League. So technically, they're correct. So, but the point I'm trying to make is, the 4 signs I mentioned, Gittens, Rodgers, Kudus, and Ekitike, right? All 4 of them are like at a minimum 70 or above. That's what they all are, right? Joao Pedro is only 50 M's. Right, that's
I get you, like.
So for me, but no, I'm not going to include Malik Fofana and Bino Gittens because they're separate deals completely. They're specifically just for left wing deals only. So we're not going to include them in this situation, right? So the guys who I'm looking at are left wing 10s, essentially, or like can play on the left wing and can play 10, maybe right wing. All those 4 guys that I've spoken about, according to the club, can do that, but they all are very expensive deals to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's why Joao Pedro, for me, if the Joao Pedro stuff is true, and then we start hearing stuff like trying to bid this X, Y, and Z for him, for me, that actually is much more of a certain argument that your Kudus is not coming here, your Ekitike is not coming here, because once you sign him, and all these other guys, then it's GG's.
Does that make sense? No, it does. I think my point with this, I'm going to go back. It's the same point I made earlier in the stream in terms of like. I hear your point about like he's the cheapest of all of those. My thing is just you don't need to sign any of them for this role. This role that you've decided you need, which you don't need in the squad really. Like if you, because like for example, if we list out who we've got right for each position, you go Delap and Jackson up front. Let's just say, or Delap plus one other as the striker. You go, who are we saying on left wing? Let's say we get Gittens. We're saying Gittens and
Neto.
Let's say Neto. Right wing currently is Noni and Esteval then. And then number 10 you can say is Palmer and maybe Esteval's, or maybe that's what you need a backup 10. So we're spending 50 on a backup 10 potentially again. But if that's the case, if we're buying someone as like the backup 10, then I can hear that. But the type of players they're going for isn't for me. Like
Carney would work, but we don't want to keep him as a pro.
Actually, let's include. Actually, if we're doing, so you can even say that Esteval's the backup 10, and you can say Noni and Kudus on the right. If we want to make this like who we've been linked with, let's say we get those. If we sign Kudus, that kind of makes sense. This idea of like you want to get someone who can play all the positions, right? The reason I don't understand it is where are they going to get minutes, and like if I'm spending this money on a player, what's the like? We saw what happened with Felix. Like, he got no minutes. He then left on loan because he was getting no minutes and he just wasn't being used. So it's just like, you don't need this type of player, especially because this is the way it normally works. Now, obviously, Maresca and Chelsea may decide to do different things. I completely understand that. But most of the time,
exactly,
Palmer's going to play 90% of the games next season. Like, we can ask for a backup all we want. He is going to play 90% of the games next season. Whether we want that or not, that's going to happen. Typically, and again, this is typically, if the lap bangs, he's going to play 90% of the games next season. He's going to play every single league game. He's going to play every single Champions League game. And the games he will not play is the Cup. And then that's pretty much it, actually. Just the Cup and then the Champions League games in the group once we've qualified, if we qualify early.
The problem is,
hang on. So you don't really need a third choice. Like, you've already got a third choice striker. It's Hiu. So like you don't.
But he is going out alone.
We don't know yet.
No. They've come out and said.
Okay, Ahmed. Say he goes out on loan. Cool. That's a third choice striker. I don't care. That still then leaves the Jackson or whoever the backup striker is. They're getting the rest of the minutes in the Cup. They're getting Cup minutes and the Champions League games after we've qualified. Cool. And then obviously bench appearances. This is, as I said, this is if the lap bangs. If the lap doesn't bang, then obviously he's going to get rotated a lot. But that's an issue for me if the lap doesn't bang. Because then if the other striker bangs, it's the same, just flipped. Anyway, for me, it's the same with the wingers as well. Unless they get injured, like if you look at the top teams, most of the time, outside of Pep, and even Pep recently has not done this as much, they don't rotate a lot. Mm-hmm. Because, like, going to Barca as well, when it comes to like their front three especially, they don't rotate a lot. What's it called? PSG, especially after January, they don't rotate a lot. And if they did, it was one player. It was Barcola coming in for most likely one of Doué or Dembele. Okay, like Carrara basically played every game since like after they signed him. So that's my thing. Like, I understand this is the type of player they want, but the type of player they want doesn't fit in the squad we have at the moment because you're only buying him on the off chance we get injuries. Which, like,
I actually don't think
if you're having to prepare. If you're having to prepare for getting injuries to like both players in those positions, like fair enough. But spending like 84 or 50 or 8 or 65 mil on these players for me is just like money that could go elsewhere.
Yeah. The thing for me is that I actually think whoever you bring for the left wing, I don't think they see them as a star in my personal opinion. That's the hot take, and I think that's just we need to be honest about that. Malik Fofana, I love the player. He's gonna need time to embed. Same with Gittens, right? So therefore, the other guy, the versatile guy, is probably going to be your starter, in my honest opinion, right? And then you slowly bring in the other guy in on the left wing. I think that's their idea of what they want to do. Okay, that's why they're going. That's why they're going so hard.
I have another point on this. Apologies to interrupt. I accept that. My counterpoint: the fuck happens in 2026 when you get Quenda?
Then basically that person will be your backup 10. That's it. That's what I'm going to say to you. Simple as that.
I think in terms of...
but why would I do that? Why would I have him as my backup?
Listen.
I have Paez.
I get that. Listen, CP.
What happens when Paez?
I have Paez literally going to Strasbourg.
Wait, tranquilo. I get all of that. But again, you guys must understand the way you build teams is not that way. That's the problem. I was ready to, you know what I mean? The other thing I actually think is that we still need to. I know that the manager has come up to make it out to be Jackson. I still, for me, in my personal opinion, kind of future is still in limbo. I don't care what a lot of people seem to have forgotten about that, but I do still think, in my personal opinion, his future at the club is still in limbo. By the way, right? I know Madueke is obviously one of them as well, but Madueke and Jackson, in my personal opinion, their futures are kind of in limbo, in my personal opinion. But I think right.
But
so
then,
for me,
we're going to replace them with other players, so I don't really worry too much.
But because for me, again, if you look at I think for me, Nkunku is going to leave regardless of what happens. I still think there will be someone that will get Nkunku in this window, right? But as I said before, the guy that you want to bring in has to be versatile enough to be a backup to whoever the lap's going to be, or a starter for the lap, and then still be able to maybe do a job in the 10 role to be a backup to Cole Palmer for the season, right? So whoever that guy is going to be, we're gonna have to wait and see. But I do think, I know because he had a somewhat good performance against who's that team? If it's LAFC, right? That people seem to be playing. Oh, Jackson's not leaving, but I still think Jackson leaves for the right price too. So that's the thing that I think people forget as well.
I'll say this caveat before we go into our last topic, because I do have to wrap it up soon, boys. All this for me, in my opinion, and I agree with everything everyone's saying. I think all this for me, in my opinion, and Larry Patrick, this will address your comment as well.
No, I don't want to address this because he didn't listen at all.
Yeah, I know. It's the fact that I will not care about this signing if we get all our first team signings done. If we get our first team signings done, then cool. This is a great signing. We needed a backup 10. That's fine. Which Joao Pedro, to me, is a player that can play in the 10, the double striker, the striker, and the left wing. He's a versatile left-sided player. I don't think he's needed in his team right now. And I don't think he's a priority. The priority should be getting a starting left winger, a starting center back.
No one complained about signing depth. Fuck.
Yeah,
listen,
I'm sorry. If we improve our first team, then some of these current first team players will be bench players. Exactly. It's magical.
Right now we have one left winger, and it's Tariq George. Noni is a right winger. Yeah. Pedro Neto is a right winger. They have been shifted to left wing because we don't have left wingers. Yeah. Get me a left winger that can be on that first team squad. Yeah. That is my priority.
Even if we get a Gittens or Malik
Pedro is not that guy, by the way. I don't think even if we get, he can play left wing, but I don't think he's a starting left winger.
Even if we get a Gittens or Malik Fofana, I'd rather spend that 50 million on that because they will start on the left wing. They're actual left wingers. Let's say Pedro Neto, as an example, might be my bench left winger. And you know what? That's a pretty decent bench left winger to have. Mm-hmm. Or even a Noni if you're playing Neto on the right wing, that's still pretty, and we still have Esteval. It's not like we don't have depth. You're acting like if we don't get this guy, we're not going to have good quality in other areas. Mm-hmm. What are you on about?
It's just like, if we were a Champions League winning side, then your priority is probably depth and backups. We're not a Champions League winning side. We're a team that needs the first team to push for title challenges and Champions League. And listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's other priorities that we have to take care of. That's why I'm not moved by this one. If it happens along and at the end of the season, at the end of the window, when I see a list of other players that we signed that happen to be first team players and Joao Pedro, then I'll be like, you know what, Joao Pedro is a good signing. But right now,
Marshall, I'm convinced. Sign him when he's played 20 minutes up to January. Like, that's cool though. Like, that's absolutely fine. Mm-hmm. When we spend 50 million again on a guy to play 20 minutes from the start of the season to January, that's absolutely fine. Because that makes sense. You fucking moron.
No, my problem, Abdimas. This Abdimas problem. This is the right one. No, we'll stand the right one about we're gonna sign more excuses to play right wing cam. That's stupid. That genuinely is a stupid. Because you've got Neto there, and then you've got Esteval there, and if Madueke leaves, I don't really see the point of getting a third guy in that position. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but I don't really see the point. If you've got two guys there, I think that's more than enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're moving on to the final topic, which is this.
Wow.
It didn't really need to be said. It's really anticlimactic.
This topic,
I think really all of us knew what was going to happen.
There's no way this is a topic, bro.
I don't care. I generally don't care.
Then perfect. We'll breeze through this and I can end the show quickly because I have to go back to work. So anyways, Arsenal and Chelsea cool Nico Williams' interest as Barcelona step up to pursue and Bayern Munich consider move. FC Barcelona want to do deal and appeal to 22-year-old but complicated by financial situation. Made contact offer and may improve it. And then here we go. Pretty much Fabrizio saying Nico Williams and Barca have agreed personal terms on 6-year deal. Agreement sealed on players' contracts until June 2031 with salary in the region of 7 to 8 million net per season. Barca are currently working on financial terms to get deal done with the Athletic. And ladies and gents, let's go back to the original argument that we had this whole time. This is the kind of tweets I want to see in regards to Gittens, in regards to Malik Fofana and all this and that. Barca just started being linked to this player. We heard links and actual movement happening 3 days ago, I want to say. And now a deal's been agreed. And now the next thing is probably going to be a here we go. That's all I want. That's all I want. Listen, this was never going to happen with Chelsea. I did kind of, my bad for doing this, but I did kind of tease some people and said, like, maybe he's willing to negotiate his salary. Maybe Chelsea can get him to negotiate his salary too. But
no, Marcel, I thought it was like a Rafinha thing where he wants Barcelona. That's been the only destination for him.
That's essentially what it is. And I think a lot of it has to do with...
Does anyone know how many, weeks... I'm trying to work out what 8 million euros a season is, weekly wage.
I think someone did the math. I think it's just about 200K a week.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which we could have afforded, but this is because he's willing to.
No, I don't think
for Barcelona.
We could have afforded in the sense of obviously the space is there, but we were never going to give him those wages.
No, we were never going to get him to cut his wages to that.
Yes, no. So not even. I think he's on 200K or 250. He was never going to.
He's on 250. I just don't think he was willing to take the pay cut for us compared to
exactly
the team he loves. Right.
This is the pay cut he's willing to take for Barcelona, which is 200K a week.
Not for us. We want more money.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things that
No, I just think again. I think with just with Chelsea, from a Chelsea point of view, they're paying 50 million outright. Right already, and then I think his wages demand. I think part of the problem is that I think he wanted to get to Barca because he basically, when the other club tried to come in for him, he was trying to raise the price just because he just wanted more money. That's what it is.
But this is also
that's his prerogative, isn't it? So it is what it is.
This is also when people complain about the targets we have. We're not a serious club. We're not going for Nico Williams. Yeah, because it's not realistic, people. He only did this for Barca. Unless your name is Barcelona, you're likely not going to sign Nico Williams.
He was never doing this for anyone else. This is one I don't really care that we missed out on. As much I think he's a good player. We were never going to get him. This isn't an Elise type thing where you could have easily got him. You just fumbled it twice. You're fucking idiots. This one, it was never going to happen. I accepted that ages ago. Is what it is. I'm not too bothered. It sucks in a sense because I think he's a good player, but he's gonna probably go to Bayern, Barca and do well as long as they get that all sorted. Don't know what the fuck's going on above me.
What the? I tabbed out for 2 seconds, bro, and then I tabbed back in and I see this.
But yeah, it's he'll do well for them, I think. But yeah, like I said, I'm not too worried. It is what it is. I've accepted what this club are going to do when it comes to wages for new players. So
literally me tabbing back into the StreamYard to see this. Ridiculous. Okay. Anyways, ladies and gents, I think it's time to wrap it up. I think we've had enough of Chelsea.
Big up to everyone. Big up to the window liquor in the chat.
Shout out to Death Stranding, man. If you know, you know.
Hey, shout out to everyone who smashed up the like button and everyone who also participated in the poll. Apparently, the majority of you guys think it's almost the end of the week or whatever.
Let's go! Let's go! I told you, fraud! I told you, idiots!
I can't take you seriously. I can't take you seriously.
He's not a real person. This man's AI.
I told you, idiots, yeah? That's what happens when it's Friday. You know what I mean? It's the fucking almost end of the week. What I told you, man? Listen to the bridge. Oh, there we go, man.
I can't with this fucking idiot, bro. I can't
Oh,
with this
I need to have a little bit of fun, man.
You're a fraud, bro.
You know what I mean? It was getting a bit too Debbie Downer for me, so I had to get some
You're
happiness
such
in
a
it.
fraud, bro.
You know what I mean? It was too much of a Debbie Downer situation there.
Ladies and gents, is there anyone I can raid? Because I don't see anyone.
Listen, there's always the cash money guy, man. You know who it is, bro. That's a good to him.
I don't know who the Cash Money guy is.
It's Lee Gunner. He's always live, isn't he?
No, he's not live.
Oh, wow. Wow.
What's he got to go live for, Ahmed? Bro, there's nothing to go live for.
I don't know, man. He's
Yeah, honestly, there's really nothing to go live for.
I mean,
Emergency
yeah,
stream, no.
You know what it is, man? He just usually live, innit? So, you know what, man?
He is usually live. I'm checking right now, actually. Who is live? I don't think anyone's live, man. We're just the last ones. We're the fools that are live right now. So, all right. It is what it is. So, can we raid Chelsea Football Club? I think they have their raids closed. It doesn't matter. Anyways, ladies and gents, we're not going to raid out to anyone. So,
Raiding
it is
Chelsea
what it
Football
is.
Club. The game's gone.
Yeah, I can't raid Chelsea Football
Oh, we can
Club.
raid
That's-
Staffy. Staffy's live right now.
Is he? Because I don't
Is he? I thought he
just
raided
came
us.
live. Yeah, he just came
Well,
live
he was
now.
raided like what, an hour ago?
Yeah, he
No,
is
no, no. I
live,
think
actually.
Hussam
Yeah,
raided
we're
us, and he was
Who's
part of
Hussam
that raid.
raided.
Oh, okay.
Safi is live. Why didn't he pop up my thing then? What the fuck?
He already came live right now. That's why.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So
Big
the
up, guys.
notification
Yeah,
was
we're gonna rate Staffy then. All right, so big up to every single one of you. Like I said earlier, there will be no reaction to the game tomorrow, unfortunately. You might need to go to Ahmed's stream for that one or someone else. I'll be there. I will be there. I'll
What time are
record a
we playing
reaction.
What time are we playing tomorrow, by the way? Is
Oh,
it-
you're at the
8
game?
2 p.m. my
8 p.m.
time. Yeah, I'll be
Ahmed,
there.
it's-
I will be
Ahmed, it's
there.
8 p.m. It's
Oh,
8
you're
p.m.
at the game?
Yeah, I'll be at Flamengo, baby.
Get some sign.
I hope they beat.
Do you care though? Who will be there?
Get
I-
some sign.
I hope you get beaten up,
Get-
Marshall. I hope you
Get
get
Palmer,
beaten
get
up.
Enzo.
I
Get all
hope I
those
get
signs.
beaten up by the random person that got mad at copyright strike them.
I hope you get beaten up by the Flamengo fans. Apparently they want blood, so I hope you.
No, because as soon as that happens, I'll be like Jorginho. Like I'll be
I
on their
can't wait to
side,
put them
man.
in a split.
Me
I
neither.
don't wait.
But I also can't wait to see Jorginho play IRL. Like
I'll-
that's another
I'll-
one I never got to see play.
I'll be honest. You know what the funniest part is? They've been
Part of me
hyping
will
up
want
their
Jorginho.
defense because they're a great defensive team. And you know who they talk
Yeah.
about? Like, guys, yo, Alexandra and Danilo. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, bros.
Yeah,
Why you gotta do this?
Where's
Man? Why you
the
gotta do this? Bro? Like, I know I watched them in
Domino's
Brazil
wrong,
and they're
here's
okay.
7.
They're like bang average. Like, they're decent in Brazil, but bro, there's a reason why they left Europe, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Especially those two.
But
Like, what are we-
all right, ladies and gents, we're gonna wrap it up. Smash up the like button if you haven't done so already, because the like ratio has been so disappointing for over 300 of you watching. Guess how many likes there are? Only 61.
Damn.
Two kill out.
Yeah, that's gonna bring the likes up. You're right, Alman. Yep, that's
Yeah.
what's gonna bring the
The
likes.
performance has been very
Yeah.
underwhelming, even for the regulars here. Performance is very underwhelming.
Listen,
would
don't
say
hate the
it's a
player, man. It's not
disaster
my
class.
fault that Osama had been
You know
too
what
careless
this
by the
performance
player.
is? It's as disappointing as the turnout for the what's that team called again?
Ulsan,
Fucking Christ.
Hyundai,
Yeah.
Mamelodi Sundowns. One of those two.
Yeah, that exactly. The likes ratio on this video or stream is as disappointing as the turnout for the Mamelodi Sundowns versus Ulsan game. Don't be like them, guys. Don't be like them. Turn up, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Thank you once again to Hussam for the raid. That is absolutely phenomenal, and I appreciate all the support, obviously, every time. If you haven't already done so as well, check out Don Hussam's channel. Check out the Bridge Nation. Check out all the links down below in the description. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed.
Cool.
Also,
Cool,
be
cool
sure
out.
to subscribe, like, check out the memberships, because there's 4 different tiers starting at 99p, and at the proper casual tier we always give shout outs
I hope
at
we
the
jump off a
end
cliff.
of every show. Jesus
Hey,
Christ.
I'm playing traffic,
And that shout out is going to go out to Daniel, TM127, EE, Dark, Adrian, A. Solomon. Appreciate the support at the proper casual tier as always. Once again, the raid message is here. Copy and paste it. Let Staffy know where you're coming from. And as always, guys, have a wonderful night. Stay
What the
casual.
fuck
We'll be
is
back
going
again
on?
soon.
Get
What
out.
do you do?
Two kill out.
Stop with your. This is selfish.
He's trying to
Smash the
hypnotize me or
likes.
some shit.
Smash
What's
the
going on,
likes.
bro? Like,
Smash the likes.
You
All
cut
right.
out.
Have a good night,
This
guys.
guy's
Have a
out.
wonderful night.
Shut up,
Peace
waiter.
out. Stay casual.